last week against Oklahoma. As you see that Prairie View will receive the ball to start off this contest, moving from our left to right. It's a beautiful day out here in Dallas.
It's a beautiful day.
Yes, sir. I think the temperature right now is 86 degrees right now. It's not going to be too hot at all. We shouldn't deal with any rain as you go around us. A slight breeze, about 4 miles an hour, so it shouldn't have any problems at all affecting the kicking game for each side of the game today. So, like I said, we're looking forward for some football today.
Well, you know what? Not to throw any shade, Philip, but we're not in Houston.
No.
You said it's not going to be too hot for today's ball game, and that's because we're in Dallas. We're in slight higher altitude.
Yes, sir.
You're going to get a little bit of breeze tonight.
Yes,
this
sir.
is perfect football weather, football squad. No excuses. Can't talk about the heat. Can't talk about we're not in the midst of triple-digit weather or anything like that.
Thankfully,
not anymore. So, no excuses if you're the Panthers. No excuses if you're the Mustangs.
Absolutely.
And you have no choice but to put it all on the line for today's ball game.
Yes, sir. Like I said, it's one of those things where, like you said, you got to go out there. They say you said it earlier. They put on the same shoes, same pads, handle the same way as you do, So it's out here to go out and compete. And like I said, let's go out here and show what the Panthers are actually made of, Yeah, they got a 42.5 spread against us, but let's show them why it shouldn't be that way, So, you need that momentum, to carry on for you.
Well, if you're the Panthers, the main thing you want to do is to stick to the game plan. I mean, there's no secret that you are aware who you're up against.
Yes, sir.
In terms of the magnitude of SMU, there's no secret, but that doesn't mean that you try to switch up things to try to play Mustang football.
Yeah.
That's one thing you can't do.
Absolutely.
If you're the Panthers, you cannot get caught trying to play Mustang football.
Yeah.
You have to play Panther football.
Absolutely. And like you said, stick to that bread and butter that works for you. Stick to that running game, Don't try and go out here trying to outpass SMU. Don't go out here trying to, beat them through the air, Stick to that running game to allow you to open, take out some short dump passes, Don't try and get it all in one play,
Yes, sir.
Take everything that you can. Take what the defense gives you.
Well, to your point, Philip, the Panthers did win the coin toss, and they will be receiving this one, moving from left to right. Mr. Brian Jenkins will field this one in the end zone. He'll take a knee, and with that, the Panthers will have the first possession to start the first quarter here from Gerald Ford Stadium at their own 25-yard line, moving from left to right, as the redshirt senior quarterback, Mr. Trayvon Conley, trots out onto the field to lead his Panthers here from Dallas, Texas, to start this first drive.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you say, you steady see the fans coming in. It's nice to see the PV faithful who have made their way out here. You see the glimpse of purple out there. So
I see some glimpse.
Yes, sir. You see some glimpse out there amongst the blue, but nevertheless, they are there.
Yes, sir. Well, the running back to start this possession will be Ahmad Antoine. He's going to be all set to Conley's right side. Play action fake as Conley rolls to his right side, looking for a man on the near side, and he's just going to safely throw this one out of bounds as Conley was trying to hook up with number 89, the tight end, David Murray. Wasn't able to get it to him. Solid coverage on that play for the Mustangs.
Yeah, it looks like he had a wide receiver open downfield, but he didn't want to take that chance.
And we have a flag on the play charged against the Panthers. It appears to be an illegal man downfield. That's going to back the Panthers up. Check that. It appears that they were able to pick up the flag. It looks like they were going to be charging the Panthers for an illegal man downfield, but they picked up the flag. So it appears to be no flag on the play. And with that, the Panthers will have 2nd and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, you saw like that last play, Conley didn't force anything. Probably could have took a chance downfield, but he just safely threw it out of bounds.
As Conley's going to have two receivers to the right, he's going to hand out to Ahmad Antoine on the left side, but he was met by a plethora of Mustangs at the line of scrimmage for a gain of no yards on the play.
Yeah, this is going to be a true test for that offensive line for the Panthers right now. If they can try and just hold off these rocks. Like I said, this is a legit SMU team now. This is not anything like you just faced last week. So if they want to keep anything going now, it's going to have to depend on that line.
And the strong running that we've seen of these running backs is definitely going to be needed here in this ball game against the Mustangs, as they're going to be coming as a play action fake, and he's going to throw this one near side of the field. Pass will be caught for some solid gain on the play, as Colin was able to hook up with number 18, Christopher Simmons. Won't have nearly enough for a first down, and with that, the punting unit will come out to the field to punt this one away.
Yeah, you can kind of see just on that last play right there, Conley and the wide receiver were not on the same page. Conley threw it kind of behind him on the design play. Maybe he could have gotten picked up enough on the first down. Conley just let him just a little bit, but nevertheless, it's going to bring up a fourth down for the Panthers.
Number 13, Roderick Daniels, back to receive this for the Mustangs, standing at their own 30-yard line. As this punt is off,
he almost got blocked by the
Almost got blocked.
I don't know how he got that off. Was number 48 for the Panthers kicking that.
This punt fell out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. We'll see where they're going to officially mark this one. And they're going to officially mark this one right at midfield. So the Mustangs will have excellent field position as an understatement to start their first drive, moving from right to left here in the first quarter, as the quarterback, Mr. Preston Stone, is out on the field to lead his Mustangs here on this first possession. And he's going to have two receivers to his left and one to the right. And play action fake, as Stone has all day. He airs this one down long. He has a man, and that pass is incomplete, broken up. Number 3, Freddie Beard, on a solid coverage for the Panthers.
Nice coverage by Beard right there. He had the one-on-one options, stood his ground right there. But Stone had all day to throw.
All day to throw.
He took that matchup, and he liked it. Maybe was a little bit underthrown, but he gave his best shot to give a jump ball to his wide receiver. As pressure right here. Gives the handoff to the running back. He's going to be met immediately by a host of Panthers.
Panthers.
And what do you say? Leading the charge right there.
Keyshawn Johnson.
Yes,
we
sir.
talked about it in our pregame show, and I mentioned this 2 games ago. I would like to see Keyshawn Johnson get active in a ball game early as possible, and you see him doing so right there on that play. Great stop by Mr. Keyshawn Johnson. We have 3rd and 9 coming up for the Mustangs. Ball placed right at the 49-yard line of the Panthers. As Stone drop back the pass, he still has time. He's going to air this down long. Yet again, he has a man, and that pass will be incomplete, but we do have a flag on the play.
I don't like that one, Andre.
Wow.
I don't like that call because you see the back official called it, but the official that was right had a great straight look at it.
Yes.
He didn't throw the flag, so it looks like this is going to go against the Panthers nevertheless for pass interference. I thought it was well covered down the field. The ball was a little bit underthrown. But, as you know, you still have to give that receiver a chance to make the play.
And speaking of receivers, the Mustangs aired it downfield yet again to the same receiver, number 1, Jordan Curley, as he's been guarded by Freddie Beard for the Panthers. One-on-one matchup, exact same play, but nonetheless, the Mustangs will have a fresh set of downs. As this time they're going to hand off to the running back. He's going to gain about 2 yards on the play. Number 11, L.J. Johnson on the carry for the Mustangs. There we have 2nd and 9 coming up.
Yeah, so far you can see that the Mustangs are trying to take that chance downfield. And if the Panthers, you got to be disciplined just in case and not fall asleep on that run game as they did right here. They did a nice job of stopping them right there and maybe getting a yard or 2 right there. So like I said, can't fall asleep on these Mustang offenses. They already proven twice right there they want to take a shot downfield on these corners. So you got to do a good job of just staying disciplined and doing some good defense right here.
Well, and to your point, as we have 3rd down coming up for the Mustangs, 3rd and 7 to be exact, ball plays right at the 31-yard line. The Panthers have been extremely solid against the run so far this 2023 campaign. Mustangs haven't had too much success here in this ball game. As Preston Stone is going to go with a pass to his wide receiver, and he will be stopped short of the first down as he was able to hook up with number 12, Jake Bailey, as he was stopped short of the first down. And with that, we have 4th down coming up, 4th and 1. Ball is spotted right at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to keep the offense out on the field, and I'm not surprised
here.
The wide receiver probably could have picked up the first down running north to south instead of east to west, but we're going to see what the Mustangs drop right here, 4th and 1. Hands it off to the back, and he might be short, in my opinion.
It looks like, depends on where they spot it. We do have a flag on the play, as Stone was able to hand it off to L.J. Johnson. It looks like he may have enough for a first down, Phillip, but we do.
So, Andre, I don't think so. It looked like he got stopped short unless they're going to be generous with the spot.
Wow. So flag on the play, charge against the Panthers.
called a chop block.
Chop block below the knees. So either way, whether he got the first down or not, it's going to be first down for the Mustangs.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, just a drive killer right there for the Panthers. You know, it seemed like they might have had a turnover on downs right there, but with that chop on the block, you know, now it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Mustangs.
Yes, sir. So ball's placed inside the 20-yard line. Ball spotted right at the 13 to be exact. As Stone is going to air this one in the end zone, and that pass will be caught for a Mustang touchdown as we have a flag on the play, as it likely will be another pass interference call charged against the Panthers, as the Mustangs will likely decline that penalty, as Stone was able to hook up with number 8, Jordan Hudson, on that play for the first touchdown here this afternoon.
Yeah, you can see, like last week with the Panthers, they were almost at a mismatch disadvantage with the tall Abilene Christians.
And you can see that the Mustangs are doing the exact same thing. We're going to take advantage of these one-on-one coverages. We're going to see if the Panthers are going to try to maybe mix some things up in the secondary. So far, they seem to be playing the kind of man-to-man coverage against the Mustangs. Maybe they'll try to mix some things up throughout the course of this game. Because if not, we just might see a lot more of that throughout the course of this ball game.
You can easily see a Stone having maybe 500 yards if they're going to take that shot going downfield all the time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So with the PAT try that was successful for the Mustangs, as they have struck first blood here in today's contest from Gerald Ford Stadium on top of this one 7-0. We have 11-17 to go in the first quarter. Both squads have had one possession each in this first quarter, and we'll keep it right here. Andre Davis alongside Mr. Philip Prince. You are tuned into Panther Football right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And to your point, Philip, some of the things that we were talking about, again, as I mentioned before, the Panthers have actually had some solid success in this 2023 campaign against the run. And even on that last possession, you can see that the Mustangs were trying to feed it to Mr. L.J. Johnson on the ground, not really having a whole lot of success. 1 yard here, 2 yards there. All of the success on that last drive offensively came through the air for the Mustangs.
Yeah, and then also, like I said, they picked up some, you know, bonehead penalties right there. You know, they kind of bailed them out right there. You know, that 2-3 pass interference right there, then the chop block that kept that drive alive on them. But, like, a lot of positive you can take away from it. You know, it seems like the Panthers are going to mostly stick to some man-to-man offense, on defense on the coverage outside. So we're going to see how strong these corners can hold for the Panthers, because it seems like SMU is going to take full advantage of them so far. But it seems like we're going to trust our guy over your guy. So far, you know, you got to stay and keep yourself in within this game if you're the Panthers. You know, on this next drive, you want to try and at least put up 3 on the board, if anything. You don't want to walk away from another drive and not getting any points.
And speaking of coverage and matchups, Philip, specifically, and not to single out one particular individual for the Panthers, but I am interested to see if we're going to continue to see this one particular matchup, if we're going to see number 1, Jordan Curley for the Mustangs against our guy, number 3, Freddie Beard for the Panthers, because the Mustangs tried the same play 2 plays in a row, one-on-one matchup between Jordan Curley and Freddie Beard. First time, great coverage by Freddie Beard. Second time, in my estimation, appears to be solid coverage, but that time they got Freddie Beard with the pass interference call that ultimately set up the Mustangs further on that drive.
Oh, absolutely. Like, when you look just at those plays, I thought they were covered well by the Panthers on the defensive side right there. You know, there's nothing you can do about it with the guy you're guarding 6'2", 6'3", and you're standing at a 5'11". You shouldn't have nothing to do about it, but sometimes it's going to have an effect, you know. So if you just hold your ground when the time comes, you know, and just like I said, hopefully we can see pressure not bail them out, because at that time you kind of saw that he kind of underthrew them, so they kind of got bailed out going away. So you can tell that the Panthers are doing a good job of really covering them downfield.
And to your point, if they're not going to change up things in the secondary, the one thing we have to see is the Panthers get more pressure on Mr. Preston Stone. As you alluded to, Mr. Preston Stone had all day to throw on this last possession. So if you're the Panthers, if you're not going to switch up anything in the secondary, if you're going to continue to play this man-to-man coverage, trusting your guy over their guy, then you're going to have to get some pressure on Mr. Preston Stone. As I mentioned before, he threw for over 250 yards last week against Oklahoma. This is definitely a young man that has no problem airing the ball out throughout the course of this ball game, obviously because he has some wide receivers on the side to get the job done. So definitely going to need to get pressure on him throughout the course of this game.
Yeah, and it seems like it's going to be a tough task for the Panthers to do because SMU is ranked third in the nation with the most returning offensive line played in the 2023. So a lot of that core has got the same, what you call it.
So in other words, they got some
veterans. Yeah, they got some
veterans
back, so they know what they're doing and they know how to protect the quarterback.
Yes, sir. So that last kickoff sailed out of bounds. So the Panthers will start their second possession at the 25-yard line, moving from left to right. Collins going to have one receiver on each side. He's going to hand off to Ahmad Antoine, and he's going to be mid. Tries to push the power forward a little bit. Gains 3 yards on the play. As we mentioned in our pregame show, the Panthers have no problem establishing the run. It's been more of the success for them offensively so far throughout this 2023 campaign, and they're definitely going to try to establish a run here in this game against the Mustangs.
Yeah, you would like to see Antoine on that last play. It's like he tried to force the hole when it wasn't there. Let your offensive line try to create a hole and take your time. Don't just try to just run in there, especially when nothing's there. Thankfully, he was able to pick up 3 yards on that to keep the drive going on. But here we go, shotgun formation for Collins. He completes it out to the wide receiver on the left side. Was number 1 for the Panthers.
Yes, sir. That was Stacy Brown on that reception for the Panthers. And with that, the Panthers will have enough for a first down.
And that's what you want to see.
Right at the 39-yard line.
Yes, sir. And then, now I'm trying to see, do you kind of keep up the up tempo here, or do you just take your time? As the Panthers look like they're going to take their time here. Do you want to kind of keep that offense in the groove, keep things going, try and kind of get a motion going on things?
Well, you want to take your time, but at the same time, you also want to try to create some momentum as well. You're down by 7. We still got plenty of time. This is your first down that you have had so far here in this ball game. So the Panthers are notorious as we have a stoppage in the play, timeout.
Yeah, it's going to be a timeout by the Panthers.
The Panthers, yes, sir. So when the teams come back, the Panthers will have 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line. And to your question, the Panthers are notorious. We'll keep it right here. The Panthers are notorious for controlling the clock. They have won the time of possession battle in every game that they played in so far in this 2023 campaign. It's only been 2. When they played TSU in the Labor Day Classic Week 1, they won a time possession battle. Even in the 45-16 loss last week against Abilene Christian, they won the time of possession battle. So the Panthers have no problem going slow. My only concern with that is when you go too slow, especially when you're down, you may lose some of the momentum.
Yeah, and what you're doing to the other side, you're just giving them time to catch their breath because when you can win the momentum, the game, the possession, you got a good chance of winning the game, walking out victorious, Now, if you're if you're the Panthers, maybe here and there I'll try to pick it up a little bit. Like I said, build off that momentum because maybe you can find a set on the SMU side that you like that they're going to have to try and make a substitution, call a timeout to get you out of. And then, if they take that timeout, then you take your time to see what they got. But like you said, that last play they picked up off of the first down, and it seemed like the wide receiver was wide open.
Yes.
And he had all day to throw. All day. So the nice job by the line to give Conley time to connect right there to pick up the first down, and have things looking like a positive so far right now in this drive.
One of the things I always say, Philip, is that you got to open up the playbook. I have no problem with the Panthers establishing a run. As I mentioned in our pregame show, they have not 1, not 2, but 3 running backs to get the job done. So I have no problem with the Panthers establishing a run, but when you're facing the teams like SMU, you have to show them that we have the capabilities to open up the playbook. As I mentioned in the broadcast last week, even if you're not successful at it on the first couple of attempts, you still have to show the opposing defense that, hey, we have the capabilities to open up this playbook if we need to. If you come in on every single possession and you're just running the ball, what does the defense typically do? They start stacking the box.
Yes, sir.
You cannot, and when you play a team like SMU, you can afford them to stack the box on every single play. You're going to mess around and get your quarterback, Trajan Conley, hurt that way.
Sir.
So you're going to have to spread them out, and the way to do that is by opening up the playbook.
Absolutely. Like I said, and anything that you can do, like I said, take your time, see what the defense and take what they're giving you. Don't go out there and try to compete and throw anything deep just to try and get back into the play. There's a lot of games to be played left.
A lot of games to be played left as the teams have made their way back onto the field. As this game is ready to resume here, we have 9:57 to go here in the first quarter. Panthers are trailing 7-0. They've gotten their first down so far here in this ball game, second possession, as Collins is a man in motion. Another handoff to Ahmad Antoine. This time he's going to be met in the backfield by a plethora of Mustangs.
Yeah, you want to kind of see the Panthers switch up on their play call. They don't run it every play on first down. You know, just kind of the SMU was expecting that one. So now, like, back to the drawing board for the Panthers.
Can't be predictable.
Yes, sir.
You cannot be predictable. Ahmad Antoine will lose 1 yard on that last play, so 2nd and 11 coming up. Ball placed at the 33-yard line. Panthers move from left to right. Collins is going to have 2 receivers on each side. Ahmad Antoine is going to be offset to his left as Conley sends Brian Jenkins in motion. Conley back to pass. He's going to air this one downfield, and that pass will be incomplete. Tried to hook up with Stacey Brown, but we have a flag on the play. Yes, sir. And this will likely be pass interference charge against the Mustangs.
That was a well-placed ball by Conley to get the call on their side.
Yes,
it
sir.
looked like it was much contact, but
it was just enough.
Just enough.
Just enough. And to your point, Philip, not only was it a great ball, he placed it right where not only, if only his receiver can get it, nobody else can.
Yes,
so
sir.
Great placement on that play, to your point, by Conley.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the Panthers will have a fresh set of downs now in Mustang territory, as ball is going to be placed at the 47-yard line. As Conley will hand off to Ahmad Antoine, and legs are still moving, and he's finally going to be brought down. Picks up solid yards on the play, 2 yards to be exact. So 2nd and 8 coming up. Ball's going to be spotted right at the 45-yard line.
Kind of for a second, you thought they were going to do a little up-tempo right there, but they brought themselves back into the huddle.
And so far, the Panthers, not only with the rushing attack, they so far have been sticking in between the guards and the tackles. Every once in a while, I would like to see the Panthers try to bounce around on the outside. I mean, Ahmad Antoine, not the fastest back of the bunch. That's going to be your sophomore running back, Connor Washam. However, for his size, Ahmad Antoine has some speed on him. So I like to see the Panthers, they're going to stick with the run game, try to bounce on the outside. As they're going to hand out to Ahmad Antoine, as he's going to cut through the middle, breaks a couple tackles. He's finally going to be brought down past the 40. Another solid pickup on that play by Ahmad Antoine. Not quite enough for a first down, but with that, we do have 3rd and manageable for the Panthers.
Yeah, that was a nice cut by Antoine right there to the cornerback for the SMU guy in the backfield. But he's able to get enough positive yardage right there to pick it up and make it a 3rd down.
Crowd coming alive here from Gerald Ford Stadium as the Panthers are going to try to hurry back to the line to try to speed the tempo up a bit here on their second possession here in the first quarter. 3rd and 2 coming up. Another handout to Ahmad Antoine, and he will lower his shoulder and have more than enough for a Panthers first down.
Yeah, great job right there by Antoine picking up the first down, lowering that shoulder, expecting to hit, embracing it, and protecting that ball most importantly.
Protecting that ball most importantly. Not to harp on the past because we are now in the present. We did mention in our pregame show the running backs coughed up not 1 but 2 fumbles in last week's loss against the Wildcats. So more than likely, ball protection was definitely the theme of practice this week leading into this game against the Mustangs.
Absolutely.
As they're going to go with a handoff. Again, this time it's going to be the transfer from Mississippi Valley, Mr. Caleb Johnson, as he picks up some solid yards on that play. 3 yards to be exact. With that, we're going to have 2nd and 7 coming up for the Panthers.
Not going to lie, I would like to see the Panthers try to utilize their speed on the outside. You see a lot of the inside.
Yes, sir.
Taking kids, I feel like it's going to be a little bit tough on these SMU defenders. They're big up front.
Yes, sir.
So let's try and see if we can open up the field. Then you can try and,
yes, sir.
get that running on the inside like you would like.
Exactly. Even if it's not successful, but again, you're showing the defense that we can spread it out if we need to. And another handoff. This time he's going to break to the left side. He's going to spin on one defender, and he's finally going to be brought down out of bounds on the far side of the field. And he should have enough for a Panthers first down, but it appears that they're going to say he's about an inch shy of the first down.
Great job right there of taking his time, bouncing out to the outside, and then utilizing that speed. Thought he picked up the first down, but they're going to mark him short.
Yes, sir.
That was a great job.
That was actually, and that was Caleb Johnson on that play. Caleb Johnson, more of the bigger back out of the bunch, showed some speed on that last play.
Yes, sir, he did. Yes, sir.
30 inches coming up for the Panthers. Ball placed right at the 26-yard line. We have some movement on the front line. Flags are flying everywhere.
Yeah, it's going to be a false start against us.
Yes, sir.
That defensive line movement had our guys a little jumpy.
We talked about penalties in our pregame show. And when you're playing a team like SMU, you cannot make costly mistakes.
No, sir, you got to be disciplined. You got to be disciplined. Like going on for last week, they had 6 penalties, you know. And like I said, you can build off of that. In contests like this, you got to be more disciplined.
And to your point, Greg,
it's all right, man.
to your point, Philip, the Panthers are playing in what would argue hostile environment. You know, you're on the road. Things are going to typically get noisy for you, especially in situations like that. You're the Panthers. You're going to have to stay poised, and you're going to have to stay under control.
Absolutely. Like I said, you don't want to let this game get out of hand too soon.
Yes, sir. So instead of 3rd and 1 for the Panthers, we're going to have 3rd and 6 coming up. Still manageable 3rd down for the Panthers, as ball is going to be placed right at the 32-yard line. Empty backfield for the Panthers. Collins going to look and throw this completely quickly, and he's going to have enough for a Panthers first down.
Collins did a nice job. Felt the pressure coming from the backside. They sent a blitz, and they got the ball off fast enough and was able to pick up the first down right there.
Christopher Simmons on the reception for the Panthers on that slant route, as the Panthers went with the empty backfield setup, which is something that we typically see for the Panthers on 3rd down, as Conley was able to recognize the coverage and get it out of his hands quickly, to your point, to Mr. Christopher Simmons for the first down. Ball is going to be spotted right at the 23-yard line.
As you can't mention, there is a new center in there right now, so I think the last center from last game is still hurt right now.
Yes, sir. And Con's going to air this one in the end zone, and that pass is going to be broken up, incomplete.
The intended receiver was number 83, Metcalf, right there.
Yes, sir. Metcalf.
Yes, sir. He had a great jump on there, kind of maybe overthrown just a little bit, but now you see more guys trying to lean to that one-handed catch stuff. Maybe you put out 2 hands, you might be able to get away with it.
And to your point of it being overthrown, you can see the safety kind of sliding down on that play, and Conley did exactly what he did on the previous 2 plays. He put it to where if either Metcalf catches it or nobody catches it.
Absolutely.
So I'm okay with it being just a little overthrown on that play. Live to see another day. 2nd and 10 coming up. This time another handoff to the running back, Caleb Johnson. He's going to get past the 20. Finally going to be brought down at the 19-yard line. Solid pickup on that play.
Caleb Johnson ran pretty hard right there. It seemed like Conley also could have kept that one. Probably could have busted into the end zone.
Be on the lookout for Conley. I'm pretty sure the coaching staff is in Conley's ear telling him to, if you see that lane, go ahead and pull it. He hasn't pulled it so far here in this ball game, but everybody, including the defense, is expecting the running back to keep it because Conley hasn't pulled it. So if you're Conley, wait for the right opportunity to pull it, because so far they're expecting you hand off to the running back. That's what he's been doing so far.
Yes, sir.
Two receivers to the right and 1 to the left for Conley. Another handoff to the running back. This time he's going to be stopped by a plethora of Mustangs right at the line of scrimmage for a gain of no yards.
Yeah, as you say, to loop back to that, you know, maybe Conley could have took that, but also you can hear him probably telling them, hey, we don't need you taking no unnecessary hits. We don't need you to be the big hero. So right then, like they handed it off to Johnson.
Yes, sir.
It was only maybe to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yes, sir. So the field goal unit is out there on the field. Number 97, Mr. Carlos Villagomez, is back to attempt about a 36-yard field goal attempt. As this field goal is going to be blocked, and it's going to be picked up by the Mustangs as he's well past midfield, past the 40, past the 30, still one in front of him, and he's going to take this one all the way back for a Mustang touchdown.
Yeah, not what you need to do with the Panthers. You got to kind of expect the SMU to be a little bit more faster than you, but you hold the block just a second later, maybe we get that off. But That's not what you needed.
Number 12, Chris Meganson, on that return for the Mustangs. And to your point, the line of the Panthers not able to hold their blocks as the Mustangs come away with the scooping score on that blocked field goal by number 12, Mr. Chris Meganson. As the snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. So 14-0 is now our score in favor of the Mustangs with 3:13 to go here in the first quarter. We'll take a break and come back with more Panther action right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
The first annual Team Domino Tournament affects double elimination, benefiting Prairie View A&M Athletics. Sponsored by the Panther Support Network, Panther Backers, Panther Club, PV Athletic Club, and Cheerleaders. The time and date for this location is Saturday, September 23rd, 2023, and the time will be from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. The location will be at the Kappa House, and the address is 3349 Southmore Street, Houston, Texas. Lunch and snacks with soft drinks will be provided from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. BYOB for adult beverages. The full dinner will be served at 4:30 p.m. The registration fee is $125 per player, and the payment method is Zelle. And the number for that Zelle is 713-417-2090. And the email is lindellrob@gmail.com. The spelling for that is LYNDAL rob@gmail.com. Checks can be sent to Panther Backers, and the address for that is 3611 Heritage Colony, Missouri City, Texas. The zip code is 77004. Donations are accepted. All funds collected and donated are tax deductible. The person to contact for all info will be Greg Austin, and his home number is 832-653-5703. His personal cell number is 713-562-8181. His email is abazulu247@gmail.com. And the spelling for that is ABBAZULU247@gmail.com.
And welcome back to Panther Football right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Andre Davis alongside Mr. Philip Prince. Misfortune for the Panthers, if you're just now joining us, a blocked field goal attempt by the Mustangs turned into a scooping score. And with that, the Mustangs are on top of this one by the score of 14-0 with 3:13 to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, scooping score for 74 yards right there. So as we go, we want to take our time to thank our sponsors. We want to thank the Prairie View Athletic Club, the Panther Backers, and the Temple of Refuge Ministry.
Thank you, Mr. Philip Prince. As the team has made their way back onto the field, as the Mustangs will be kicking this one from right to left, Mr. Brian Jenkins back to receive this for the Panthers, and he will not get an opportunity to return this one, as he's going to take a knee safely in the end zone, and with that, the Panthers will have their third possession here of the first quarter at their own 25-yard line when the teams make their way back out onto the field. Kind of a similar replica that we witnessed last week against the Wildcats on that last possession, Philip. The Panthers were able to travel from their own 25-yard line in Mustang territory, had an opportunity to put points on the scoreboard, and ultimately come out empty-handed.
Yeah, and like that, drives like that stall out with no points, just make the deficit longer and harder to fight back.
Yes, sir. So we have some stoppage in the play as Conley attempted to pass on the far side of the field. So timeout charge on the field, charging in the Mustangs. And we'll keep it right here. But if you're the Panthers, you know, so what is the mindset coming into to start your third drive here in the first quarter? Ultimately, what they have to try not to do to psych themselves out and not think about last week from what they witnessed on that previous drive.
Well, like you said, you alluded to it. Like, sometimes when you go into contests like this, you're not expecting to win. We're working on here on our own craft. What can we do to build from here to go on, you know, and be excellent for the rest of the season? Now, you know, that last drive, I give kudos. That was a great drive, you know, but it just like it didn't end out in any points, you know. So each drive going on, you want to try and get some kind of points, you know, and just build from there.
It was a 30-second timeout, so teams have made their way onto the field. 1st and 10 for the Panthers. A handoff to Ahmad Antoine as he's going to get up the middle and gain 3 yards on the play. So 2nd and 7 coming up, and we both alluded to this point. So the Panthers establishing the run so far here in the first quarter, but still kind of running in the same direction. They're running in between the guards and between the tackles. That's some big boys on the opposite side of the football on that defensive line for the Mustangs. Haven't really had an opportunity. Now, the running backs have tried to bounce around to the outside. We saw Caleb Johnson do it, but the play itself doesn't seem to be going to the outside so far.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's like they're allowing the defense to let them go and suck them in right to the middle right there. As Conley draws and just thankfully just throws it away right there. Nope, just well covered right there by the SMU Mustangs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, and to your point, the Mustangs are doing what the Panthers need to do defensively, and that is get pressure on Mr. Preston Stone, the quarterback for the Mustangs. The Mustangs got pressure on Trayvon Conley. He was trying to hook up with Stacey Brown, and Stacey Brown was running a drag route on the near side of the field, but he saw 3 or 4 blue jerseys in his face, and he safely threw it away as we have 3rd down coming up. And this time he would not get away from the pressure as he was brought down for a sack in the backfield.
Yeah, and I was just about to say that Conley in the backfield with no help. I didn't like that play, Carl, unless you get the ball off quick. Because, like I said, that front line is fast for SMU. So if you're not getting that ball off quick, I need some extra protection there to protect Conley.
And we see it all the time. As we can credit that sack to number 5, Elijah Roberts, for the Mustangs. And we see it all the time for the Panthers. As the punting unit come out into the field to punt this one off, number 12, Jake Bailey, standing at their own 30-yard line. And Bailey's going to catch this one. He's going to break a tackle. He's going to try to burst to the right side. He finally will be brought down at the 40-yard line. And that's where the Mustangs will have their next possession here late in the first quarter with 1:42 to go. And to your point, yes, you know, typically on 3rd down, I mean, we talk about it all the time, the Panthers will go with the empty backfield setup. And if you're the Panthers, you can like it or not like it, all depending on how successful you are on the play. Sometimes we see the Panthers, when they go with the empty backfield setup, they're successful at it, and sometimes we see the complete opposite like we saw on that last play. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. Ball plays right at the 41-yard line. A handoff to the running back, and he's going to be brought down, only gaining a yard on the play, as that was number 0, Mr. Kmar Wheaton for the Mustangs.
Nice open field tackle right there by the Panthers, you know, from allowing him to get any more extra yardage.
Yes, sir. 2nd and 9 coming up. Mustangs moving from right to left. As the Mustangs are going to go with the empty backfield setup, 3 receivers to the right and 2 to the left. Preston back to pass. That pass will be intercepted by the Panthers.
I had to collect myself down low. I was like, please don't get it. Please don't get it.
The linebacker, Warren Schenkel, will be credited with the interception for the Panthers. Bounced off the shoulder of the receiver of the Mustangs, and Warren Schenkel was at the right place at the right time.
We'll take it anyhow we can get it. Should have been a completed pass, but maybe slightly thrown behind him a little bit too high.
Yeah, he did have to turn shoulder a little bit. But as we always say, though, at this level of the game, you are still expecting your receivers to come away with that catch.
Shut your hands. I need you to come away with it. You know, and like I said, thankfully, it seemed like the play just happened in slow motion for the Panthers. Luckily, they're able to get the turnover. Now let's see if they can feed off that, get a little momentum, and put some points on this drive.
Great job by the defense getting the turnover here, the first turnover of this game. And with that, the Panthers will have 1st and 10. As Khan's going to attempt to pass, and he has a man downfield, and that pass
Out of the
will be in and out of his hands, Mr. Phillip Prince. Incomplete pass.
We had him right there, Andre.
And he is shaking his head, Phillip. He knows that he should have come down with that one.
Give kudos to Conley right there, stepping up in the pocket when it collapsed on him, and then taking his time and just put another well-thrown ball.
Tried to make a play. He was trying to hook up with number 10, Trey John Spiller, who had a slight step back last week against Abilene Christian, had a monster game the week prior against Texas Southern. Wasn't able to haul that one in. With that, we have 2nd and 10 coming up. Ball placed at the 49-yard line of the Mustangs. This time they're going to safely hand off to the running back. Nothing doing on that play. Ahmad Antoine on carry for the Panthers will actually lose 2 yards on that play.
Yeah, that was, like I said, another great job by the defensive line for the SMU Mustangs. Getting in there quick was Ryan Brewski.
Yes, sir.
It seemed like he got in there right when the ball snapped.
Yes, sir. Had a great stop on that play, a great jump on that snap. And I like to see the Panthers go back to the previous play. Even though it wasn't successful, I like this matchup that the Panthers had with Trey John Spiller on the outside. Well, definitely showed some speed on that play.
Yeah, it's like the Panthers, they have the respect on the run game. That's right, Antoine here runs his up the middle.
Yes, sir.
Going to make it a 4th down and manageable.
About a 4th and 3, definitely not in a position. If you're the Panthers, are you going for it here on 4th down?
This is about 4th down territory. Right?
About 4th and 4. As we have a slight stoppage on the play, we have a timeout on the field. This timeout,
TV timeout.
Yes, sir, TV timeout. That last play actually took us to the end of the first quarter here from Jared Ford Stadium. So 14-0 is our score in favor of SMU. But the Panthers are showing light here in that first quarter. Again, as we somehow keep harping on, not representing on the scoreboard, but the Panthers actually showed some positives in that first quarter, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, and like you can see that the Panthers are wanting to run the ball. That because they tried to throw it, they had the mismatch that they wanted. Now you can't do nothing about it with the pocket collapsing on you. But throw the ball a little more. That opens the run game a lot more. Because it seems like SMU is not letting TV run the ball like they want.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And even though they're not letting them run the ball like they want to, the Panthers, we don't have any official stats in front of us just yet, unofficially. But once we are able to take a look at it, just from my eye test, the Panthers actually had more success running the ball in that first quarter in comparison to the Mustangs. Mustangs didn't really have any success running the ball in that first quarter. Everything has been all through the air for the Mustangs so far here in this ball game. And as I mentioned before, I would like to see the Panthers try that shot downfield again with Trey John Spiller. He actually was in front. He actually beat the quarterback on that play. So clearly he's faster than that cornerback. Probably was more surprised himself that he was open, wasn't able to haul it in. But this is a young man that has excellent hands, and I would like to see them utilize him more in this ball game.
Yeah, and like just stats on that first half. Murphy had the ball 12 minutes out of that 15-minute quarter.
There you go.
And even had more total yards than SMU has a total of 26 yards. Murphy has a total of 54. Murphy, beating themselves right now with those penalties. They got 3 against them, but those penalties kept the SMU drive alive. So maybe if you take those penalties away, maybe you're still looking at a 7-0 deficit right now coming from the blocked field goal.
Yes, sir.
But also, you could be looking at a 3-0 lead for the Panthers, but you can't look on the what if, coulda, shoulda, woulda. You got to take it as you see it as cold in front of you. Except this is a lot of positive things right now for the Panthers. Just right there, you had the ball 12 minutes to the first quarter. Kept that offense of the SMU Mustangs on the side. You gave your defense a break. So it gives you a chance, a fighting chance. If your offense can at least put some points on the board, you can ride on that defense, because they'll be a little bit more rested coming into this contest right now.
There's a lot of positives that we can point out by the Panthers in that first quarter. One of the things that we're not seeing is a whole lot of 3-and-outs. And if you're the Panthers, that's something that you can lean on going into the second quarter against the Mustangs. If we were just looking at a bunch of 3-and-outs, then there will be cause for concern. But because we're not looking at a bunch of 3-and-outs, the Panthers have been able to sustain the drive so far here in this ball game. As the teams have made their way back onto the field and the teams have switched sides, the Panthers are now moving from left to right. It is 4th down, so the punting unit is onto the field to punt this one off for the Panthers. As number 2, Jonathan McGrill, is back to receive this one for the Mustangs.
Now, if you're the Panthers, you trying to do a little fake here?
Too early. Too early. I know you're down by 2 scores, but too early to try anything fancy, as this punt is going to be waved off, and it's going to sail out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. So in comparison to the last punt that we saw in the first quarter, where the Mustangs started off with excellent field position at the 50-yard line, this time to start the second quarter, their first possession of the second quarter, they're going to start this one inside their own 10-yard line, the 9-yard line to be exact, moving from left to right.
Yeah, so far, like, SMU has not really shown anything like that sticks out for me. They got bailed out by a couple of the penalties, and like I said, the defensive job right now is being done well by the PVU defense.
Yes, sir. As Preston Stone is he has a man wide open downfield, and it's a foot race, and he's going to get past midfield, past the 40, past the 30, turns on the jet, 10-5, touchdown, Mustangs.
Well, you did get that one play.
So Mr. Philip Prince may have spoken too soon, as Preston Stone was able to hook up with number 13, Roderick Daniels, for a long touchdown. A 91-yard touchdown by Mr. Roderick Daniels, as Philip Prince had just mentioned that not a whole lot stuck out by the Mustangs so far here in this ball game. Well, if a 91-yard touchdown reception don't stick out, I'm not really sure what does.
I mean, I guess I need a little bit more to prove. But what can I do, to help out the Panthers? Find that that one play right there. They did a nice job. You got a little stop it to play right here. I guess they're gonna go back and review it and make sure.
Well, I'm not really sure what there's much to review on.
Maybe
on
when
that
he crossed
play.
the line, he might have let go of the ball too early.
I don't think he did that.
We'll see. And then also, too, you need to see if Prairie View Panther maintained it and recovered it fully. So I think that's what they're going to take a look at right now.
What would be a huge momentum swing if that is true, Mr. Philip Prince?
Oh, man, we're betting on it. We need it. We need it right now, man, because if that's going to happen, one play, one drive like that, that's going to be tough to defend for the Panthers.
Definitely.
They kind of got faked out right there. Preston did a nice job of selling the run,
yes.
And the wide receiver was wide open. No one was accounting to him. As you see,
no, he was wide open. Definitely, perhaps some miscommunication.
I think he let go of it. Andre.
Yes, as we were looking at the replay on the Jumbotron, and the officials are still discussing it, but it appears that Roderick Daniels may have let the ball go prematurely on that last play, and the ball was definitely covered by the Panthers.
Yes, sir. Or I think it might have rolled out of bounds, too. It
looks like
trying to get another good look at it. Thankfully, they have instant replay in the booth for us, too.
So the ruling on the field will stand, and it will be a touchdown for the Mustangs. So with that, the Panthers find themselves down. We're still waiting for the PAT try. But it appears that the Panthers will find themselves down by 3 scores here early in this ball game, as we still have the entire second quarter to go here from Gerald Ford Stadium.
Yeah, just to capitalize on that, I wonder what Lashley, the head coach for the SMU Mustangs, is telling this player right there. The boy, don't scare us like that ever again, man. Don't you even think about it.
You got too fancy for my life.
Hey, you mean to thank you for instant replay.
So the point after is good. So 21-0 is our official score now in favor of the SMU Mustangs. We got 14:40 to go here in the second quarter. We'll take a break and come back with more Panther action right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
The first annual Team Domino Tournament effect double elimination, benefiting Prairie View A&M Athletics. Sponsored by the Panther Support Network, Panther Backers, Panther Club, PV Athletic Club, and Cheerleaders. The time and date for this location is Saturday, September 23rd, 2023, and the time will be from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. The location will be at the Kappa House, and the address is 3349 Southmore Street, Houston, Texas. Lunch and snacks with soft drinks will be provided from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. BYOB for adult beverages. The full dinner will be served at 4:30 p.m. The registration fee is $125 per player, and the payment method is Zelle. And the number for that Zelle is 713-417-2090. And the email is lyndarob@gmail.com. The spelling for that is LYNDAL rob@gmail.com. Checks can be sent to Panther Backers, and the address for that is 3611 Heritage Colony, Missouri City, Texas. The zip code is 77004. Donations are accepted. All funds collected and donated are tax deductible. The person of contact for all info will be Greg Austin, and his home number is 832-653-5703. His personal cell number is 713-562-8181. His email is abazulu247@gmail.com. And the spelling for that is ABBAZULU247@gmail.com. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to Gerald Ford Stadium here in Dallas. I'm going to give you a quick scoring update going around the SWAC as you have Arkansas Pine Bluff up by a score of 21-20 over Miles. West Florida and Florida A&M are at halftime at a score of 3 apiece. Rice University over Texas Southern by a score of 28-0. Southern is up over Alabama A&M 7-3 with 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. Mississippi Valley State is up over Delta State by a score of 7-6 in the second quarter. All quarters up over McNeese by a score of 14-0 in the second. And you still have kickoff tonight with Jackson State visiting Texas State. Kickoff is at 7:30.
Kickoff is at 7:30. Well, we are already off here from Gerald Ford Stadium by way of Dallas, Texas, as the Panthers have some work to do here at the beginning of the second quarter with 14:40 to go as they find themselves trailing 21-0 against the Mustangs of SMU, as Conley is going to start this one at their own 25-yard line, and he's going to throw it to the near side of the field. He has a man. That pass will be caught, and he will have enough for a Panthers first down as Trayvon Conley was able to hook up with number 18, Christopher Simmons, gained enough yards for a first down on that play.
Yeah, they had tried that play a lot earlier, but on that same play, Conley had threw it behind the wide receiver in the previous first drive, but this one he made an adjustment, led his wide receiver, and he was able enough to pick up the first down.
Despite some of the drop passes that we've seen so far here in this ball game, Trayvon Conley has actually been pretty accurate throwing the ball through the air. One thing we haven't seen is him kind of take off and run it, and to your point that you mentioned before, which may have told him to kind of cool it on the running here in this ball game, as we have some jumping on the front line. It's going to be false start charge against the Panthers. So it's going to back them up 5 yards. So instead of 1st and 10, they will have 1st and 15. Ball placed right at their own 33-yard line.
See, now is the time not to play sloppy football. You know, that was just your 4th penalty. But you want to be as disciplined as you can be throughout this whole contest.
We talked about mistake-free football.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So it's 1st and 15 coming up for the Panthers. Con's going to have 3 few to the left and 1 to the right. A handoff to the running back. Will gain some solid yards on the play. Second down coming up. Ahmad Antoine on the carry for the Panthers.
Yeah, and you see, like I said, They're just trying to get a feel for the defense right now. They want to take too much down the field, just get a little bit of that 5 yards that they lost.
And I like how the Panthers aren't airing it downfield right off the back. You know, you don't want to show that you're desperate. You know, it's no secret that you're down by 3 scores early in this ball game, but you don't want to start seeming desperate too early.
Yeah, no need to try and go get it back all in one play. You know, like I said, there's still a lot of time left. Anything can happen. You know, you just want to capitalize on each drive that you get the opportunity out there on the field.
So 2nd and 12 coming up, ball at the 36-yard line. Conley will air this one as he is going to be hit in the backfield. It appears that he may have ran into his own man as Conley was trying to step into the pocket, but didn't quite have a lane on that play, and he's going to lose some yards on that play.
Man, Andre, it's like that pocket is collapsing so fast on Conley, and he had a man downfield who had some separation, too. If he could have found his way to slip out of that, we might have been saying that would have been a touchdown for the Panthers.
Yes, sir. So ball is at their own 29-yard line. We have 3rd and 19 coming up as the Panthers will have to get to the 48-yard line for a first down. Not too many plays in the playbook for 3rd and 19, so the Panthers will safely hand it off to the running back, Ahmad Antoine, gain some solid yards, but won't have nearly enough for a first down. And with that, we will have the punting units coming out onto the field. So the Panthers were able to get 1 first down out of that drive. However, a costly penalty, and along with Trayvon Conley just running into his own man, backed the Panthers up further on in their own territory.
Yeah, just like on that last play, SMU only sent 4, but it seems like every other play they're getting at least 6 on to Conley, and he's not having any time at this point. It's not going to be a great punt like SMU might get another great starting field position.
So on the previous play, the Mustangs started inside their own 10-yard line. 1 play, 1 throw, 91-yard touchdown reception to Mr. Roderick Daniels Jr. And on this particular possession, the Mustangs will have excellent field position at their own 40-yard line.
Yeah, like I said, you can't say nothing about field position. It doesn't matter whether SMU Mustangs are starting.
They've proven that it don't really matter what field position they start in.
Not at all. Like I said, if you're the Panthers right now, you know, like I said, you're trying to build up that morale. You know, like I said, you came in as the underdog. You know, what can we work on to get better out from this game? You know, a lot of things that may not have gone our way like we wanted to. You know, but there's a lot of things you could take away. Because still, like I said, when you have time where you're leading a lot of game possession, you know, you are in the head of the game right there. When you control the clock like Prairie View has been able to do it, and like I say, you give your defense a lot of time to breathe, catch their breath, and give you the ball back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And while we have a quick break in the action, we want to take this opportunity to let our listeners know that you can join us for the 1876 After Party Post-Game Show featuring yours truly, Dr. Mike Prince, as he will break down the X's and O's, the good, the bad, and the ugly of today's broadcast. And you can do so by listening live by dialing 857-777-0000. That number again is 857-777-0000. Or you can head to our website at obnradio.com. Again, that's obnradio.com. And it's the 1876 After Party Post-Game Show featuring Dr. Mike Prince.
Hopefully the Panthers can walk away and get something good with Dr. Prince to talk about on the show today.
Otherwise, it may not be a long show.
No, not at all.
It might not be a long show. And speaking of show, we also want to let all of our listeners know that you can listen to the Mike Prince Show daily on our YouTube page at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. The Mike Prince Show giving you an insight of HBCU sports and beyond, and any and everything in between. And again, you can listen to that show, the Mike Prince Show, on our YouTube at the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Yes, sir. Like I said, it's a nice crowd out here today in Dallas. You know, like I said, I'm steady seeing, looking out on there. I'm glad that I can see more purple as you go along. You know, they came out here to support their Panthers out here. A lot of homecoming games for a lot of these Panthers who are originally from Dallas, so they're going to see a lot of family members out there.
You're being generous, Philip. You're being generous. But to your point, yes, Here's a nice crowd here. It's a nice weather.
But don't get too
nice
you might see the blue and the purple getting mixed up now.
I can distinct between blue and purple. Yeah. you can distinct between that. The teams that made their way onto the field. First and 10 for the Mustangs. As Preston Stone will air this one downfield, and that pass will be caught for a Mustangs first down.
There is a penalty mark on the play.
Yes, sir.
Going to be a holding again.
Yes, sir. So a holding on that play, charge against the Mustangs. So we'll back them up 10 yards, as the Panthers will catch a break on that last play, as Preston Stone was able to hook up with Jake Bailey, who had some success in that first quarter receiving-wise for the Mustangs, as he was able to hook up with him on that play. So be on the lookout. Even though there was a holding penalty charge against the Mustangs, be on the lookout for them to run that exact same play on this drive.
Absolutely. As this ball is handed off to
yes,
the running back, he's going to be met with a hard hit by the Panthers.
Hard hit by the Panthers.
There's another penalty marker on the play, and it looks like this one might go against the Mustangs again. A little excessive play after.
Number 20, Chris Adamora, was a linebacker on that play that laid the boom on that last play for the Panthers. And to your point, yes, we do have a flag on the play. Might be some taunting as well.
Unsportsmanlike conduct?
So, unnecessary roughness. So, I said taunting, but either way, I was thinking that this penalty will be charged against the Panthers on that particular play, unnecessary roughness on that play.
And stuff like that, you know, you can't beat yourself any worse as it is right there. You know, you can't have those going against you after already trailing.
So with that, the Mustangs will have a fresh set of downs. Ball plays right at midfield at their own 49-yard line, moving from left to right. Stone's going to have 3 receivers to the left and 1 to the right, and hand off to the running back. And he's going to cut up the field, past the 45, and he's finally going to be brought down at the 44-yard line.
I thought SMU got away with the block in the back right there, because it looks like a Panther line that could have got him for a tackle or loss, but listen, went unseen.
Yes, sir. Mustangs going with the hurry-up offense. Another handoff to the running back. He's going to get past the first wave of defenders. He will have enough for a Mustang first down. Number 0, Kmar Wheaton, on the carry for the Mustangs.
As that the Mustangs are trying to pick up the tempo.
Picking up the tempo, up by 3 scores here in the second quarter with 10:18 to go. Ball plays inside the 40-yard line. As Preston's going to drop back to pass, we do have a flag on the play. As he's still looking for a man downfield, he does have a man. That pass will be called to the 30-yard line. This one likely will be coming back, as the flag came from the back jug, which usually indicates holding charged against the offense. We'll get the call. So holding will be the call, charged against the Mustangs. So that's going to back them up 10 yards. So we can take that reception off the board. Yeah. As it would have been the first down for the Mustangs. Panthers get another break on that play. Some penalties on both squads here so far here in this first half. We don't have the official stats in front of us just yet, but Panthers having some costly penalties, and so are the Mustangs here in this ballgame.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to try the Lashley's wanting them to review something here. Don't quite understand what could be a potential review play right there. But I guess we're going to be finding out just like you guys are waiting on. But it seems like just on that last play, he had all day to throw, Andre. You know, even like when he just stepped out of the pocket as collapsed, it seemed like there was no defender that would steer him.
We talked about that.
Yeah, so it's like the SMU Mustangs are doing an excellent job of protecting Stone back there. And even like that, nice, well covered by the Panthers on that too, but it's just like he had all day to throw to allow a wide receiver to sliver and find that little gap where the Panthers were at.
If I'm the defensive coordinator of the Panthers, even though so far in this ball game it appears that the receiving core of the Mustangs have gotten the best of the Panthers secondary, but if I'm the defensive coordinator, I'm going to get pressure on Mr. Preston Stone, and he's going to have to show me that he has the capabilities to get it in and out of his hands quickly. So far, we haven't seen that because he hasn't had to get it out of his hands quickly because, to your point, he's just sitting in the backfield, just taking his time, finding his man downfield. So he hasn't really had to do any kind of quick passes. So if I'm the coordinator, he's going to have to show me that he has the capabilities to get it in and out of his hands quickly, and by doing so, because the Panthers are going to try to get pressure on him.
Yeah, and absolutely. You know, and Stone is still a young guy. You know, he hasn't really proven himself to being, you know, a caliber player when it comes, you know, to this kind of level. So you got no disrespect to him, but like you want Stone to prove to you that he belongs out
when
there.
You got a young person in the backfield.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have to show me.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have to show me what your skills are made of. I'm not gonna make it easy for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it seems like right now, like if you're the Panthers, you know, like I said, don't give up, don't fight. You know, don't give up without a fight. You know, because like I said, anything can happen. One play you could be in the end zone, and before you know it, you're looking at a 21-7. Then next you know, the more momentum. You know, just like I said, you just want to feed off. Get off one play, off momentum, just keep feeding off. Because so far, like I said, you're doing an excellent job of stopping the Mustangs' offense of really exploding like they want to, except for that one play that took off for 91 yards. You know, so far the defense have done a great job. You know, a couple of cost penalties that help the SMU Mustangs keep their play alive, you know, to drive a line to allow them to put points on the board. That could have been, you know, another 4 and out, you know, for the Panthers.
We still have a long way to go here from Gerald Ford Stadium. We got 10:05 to go here in the second quarter. 21-0 is our score. However, it appears that we're starting to see the same replica that we witnessed last week against the Wildcats. Panthers showing success on both sides of the ball, but so far isn't transferring to the scoreboard. And if you're Panther Nation, it's a wonder. You have to wonder how concerned you should be as the Panthers after this week will be heading into conference play next week against Alcorn State, and then the week after in the Cotton Bowl against Grambling State.
Couldn't quite pick up the head official right there.
But either way, the Mustangs will have first down, 1st and 20 after that holding penalty. Ball plays right at midfield, moving from left to right. As Stone drop back to pass. He has a man. That pass will be caught on the near side of the field. Number 12, Jake Bailey, on the reception for the Mustangs as he gets majority of those yards back and then some. And with that, the Mustangs will have second and manageable here on this drive.
Yeah, he just found the right spot, in the soft spot of the defense, and just sat right there. Stone connected right there, picking up a lot of that yardage back.
Ball now plays at the 34-yard line. This time a handoff to the running back, and he's going to get past the 30, and he's going to be brought down near the first down marker as number 31, Mr. Tyler Levine, on the carry for the Mustangs. 3rd and 1 coming up, and this time Levine is going to cut to the left side, lowers his shoulder, and he's going to get inside the 20-yard line as we have some pushing and shoving going on down there on the field.
Another penalty marker coming out on the field right now.
Things are definitely getting testy here from Gerald Ford Stadium as the running back, Tyler Levine, lowered his shoulder on that tough run on that last play. It appears that some Panthers didn't quite like it. Didn't quite take it so well.
A lot of intensity to it. It kind of seemed like he's built like a linebacker, fullback.
So another penalty charge against the Panthers, another unnecessary roughness. So now 2 unnecessary roughness penalties by this Panther defense here in the second quarter. And we talked about this in our pregame show. When you're playing opponents like Abilene Christian, SMU, they don't need any help.
No, they don't. Yeah, you got to play the most disciplined football of your life to give yourself a fighting chance.
So now 1st and goal for the Mustangs. A handoff to Levine up the middle, and he's going to be brought down, gain some positive yards for the Mustangs. And he's going to be brought down right at the 5-yard line. So 2nd and goal coming up.
Yeah, Levine is lowering that shoulder right there. It's like he's almost built like a fullback, but got the speed.
Yes. As Stone's going to have one receiver on each side, Levine is going to be offset to his right. This time Stone's going to keep it himself, and he will be in for a Mustang touchdown. So the Mustangs went with a read option on that play. They've been going with the read option for this entire ball game. Went with a read option on this drive. Then handed it off to Levine. This time, he kept it. Panthers were expecting Levine to keep it. Stone had a wide open lane for a touchdown.
Yeah, that was a nice job by Stone of reading the defense, took what they gave him. You know, caught the Panthers sleeping in a sense right there for the 5-yard touchdown run, and put the score up now 27-0 with the point at that attempt.
And Philip, we talked, and you actually mentioned this as that PAT is good, so 28-0 is now our score in favor of the Mustangs. You mentioned early in this broadcast that Conley, we haven't really seen Conley move his feet or run the ball so far here in this ball game, as the Panthers typically do the read option offensively as well. And I said that Conley needs to wait for the opportunity. It appears that maybe the coaching staff may have been in his ear about not running this so much in this ball game. Again, this is all speculation, of course. We don't know for sure, but one thing we can say is typically we were seeing Conley take off at least 1 or 2 times by the second quarter, and so far we haven't seen that. But we saw Preston Stone keeping himself on that play as the defense was looking for Levine to get the ball, but we haven't seen Conley do that offensively for the Panthers.
Yeah, and it's hard to Conley's, standpoint, to try even take the ball, because it seems like every time they snap it, you got 3 blue jerseys back there in the backfield just staring at you, and then at all costs you want to protect yourself. Come out of this contest with the minimum of injuries as possible, to give yourself a fighting chance, because like you mentioned earlier, the West is wide open.
It is.
So let's use this game to, let's say we go back and work on what can we do, that we can take away that this worked in the SMU game. Let's use it on our opponents where we can, be an advantage over them,
8:20 to go here, 8:23 to be exact, to go here in the second quarter from Gerald Ford Stadium by way of Dallas, Texas. The Panthers have their work cut out for them as they find themselves down by 4 scores. 28-0 is our score if you're just now joining us. We'll take a break and come back with more Panther action right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
The Prairie View Athletic Club has been serving and supporting student athletes since 1986. This group of volunteers believe in supporting and the motto that Prairie View produces productive people. For more information on how you can become part of this winning team, simply dial 936-857-5817. Every time you support the Prairie View Athletic Club, you are supporting Prairie View Athletics, and it is also tax deductible. So once again, for more information on how to become a member of the Prairie View Athletic Club, simply dial 936-857-5817. Who you rooting for? PVU.
It's been all Mustang football so far here from Gerald Ford Stadium. Welcome back to Panther Football on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Andre Davis alongside Mr. Philip Prince. 28-0 is our score in favor of the SMU Mustangs if you're just now joining us. As the teams have made their way onto the field, Mustangs will be kicking this one from left to right, as that will sail in the back of the end zone. So Trayvon Conley and company will get another stab at it here midway through the second quarter with 8:23 to go when the teams make their way onto the field. Ball will be spotted at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Andre, like you alluded to, it's been all SMU so far right now. But when you look at the stats, I could beg to differ right there. Prairie View is leading them with the time of possession, 15 to 6 minutes. And then on the passing plays, Prairie View's just thrown it 8, and SMU's only thrown it 6 times. It's just one of those things where it's just plays are not going in the favor of Prairie View when you need them to.
I and PB Nation need those positives to transfer to the scoreboard, Mr. Philip Prince. We need those positives that I'm sure that we're going to point out to throughout the course of this ball game, and even at some point during halftime for our halftime report. I know that there's some positives that the Panthers went with a run on that play with Ahmad Antoine, gained of 2 yards, 2nd and 8 coming up. I know that there's some positives that we can point to that we have been pointing to, but if you're a PV Nation, you're going to need those positives to transfer to the scoreboard.
Absolutely. And, like, other than the positive of not coming out hurt, you know, let's put some points on the drive, you know, to know, like, our playbook is, you know, where it needs to be at, you know, going on forward.
2nd and 8 for the Panthers. Ball placed at the 27-yard line. We have a stoppage in the play. Another flag on the play. A lot of yellow laundry in this ball game.
Yeah, and that's going against the Panthers. Looks like it is. It's going to be their 7th penalty so far already just in the first half.
Do we have the total yards of penalties for the Panthers? I know we're going to read them at some point during our halftime report, but I am interested to see how many yards for those 7 total penalties so far here in this ball.
So far, it's 65 yards right now.
65 yards. And we're in the second quarter, 7:20 to go. We still have 2 more quarters to play as we have 2nd and 13 now coming up for the Panthers. Another handoff to the running back. He tries to bounce to the left side, but he will not have any room as he's going to be met right at the line of scrimmage. Caleb Johnson on the carry for the Panthers. And with that, we have 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, Johnson couldn't find any lane or hole to bounce out to, you know, to burst open with any positive yardage right there because he was met immediately by a host of Mustangs to even maybe get luckily back to the line of scrimmage.
Ball placed at the now 22-yard line of the Panthers as they have to get to the 35-yard line for a 1st down. We have 3rd and 13 coming up. Panthers moving from right to left. Interesting to see if the Panthers are going to go with another run on this play or they're going to try to be aggressive through the air to get a 1st down as Conley will drop back the pass, and that pass will be caught by the Panthers. He will not have enough for a 1st down, but a completed pass to number 83, Metcalf. He won't have enough for a 1st down, so with that, the punting unit will come out to the field.
Yeah, see, it almost, I might as well to keep my offense out there. It's 4th and manageable. You know, and Metcalf almost could have picked up the 1st down right there if he didn't get bumped and chipped up.
It's 4th and manageable, but you're well on your 50 on your side of the 50-yard line.
Well, I mean, what else you got to play for, man? You know, give yourself a fighting chance, right?
As this punt is off, takes a slight TV bounce inside the 30-yard line, and this one will officially be spotted at the 26-yard line of the Mustangs.
And luckily, that block was not that punt was not blocked right there because again, it looks like there was 7 blue jerseys back there just looking at him before he even got it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, 5:44 to go here in the second quarter. 28-0 is our score in favor of the Mustangs. In comparison to some of the success we've seen offensively for the Panthers so far in that ball game, not really a whole lot to speak of on that last possession offensively for the Panthers, as the Mustangs will have this one at their own 26-yard line, moving from left to right. Preston's going to have 2 receivers to the right and 1 to the left. He sends a man in motion. As they go with the read option, a handoff to Mr. Levine, and he's going to be met after gaining 3 yards on the play.
And leading that charge was for the Panthers, number 9, your man, Keyshawn Johnson.
I need to see Keyshawn Johnson a lot more in this second quarter like we saw in the beginning of the first quarter.
Yes, sir. They kind of
and it's time for play action fake. And he's going to have a man. That pass going to be caught on the near side of the field, past the 40, and he's going to be brought down, but after picking up a 1st down for the Mustangs.
Yeah, just had all day to throw, and then on that, the wide receiver got a lot of separation right there. Just sat at the 1st down marker.
As we have another flag on the play.
I would not be shocked if this is going against the Panthers again, as I kind of saw the late hit.
The late hit after the.
Wow. There's a lot of frustration right now. They're going for the Panthers, but right now you got to be disciplined.
Personal foul.
Right now, man, for the Panthers.
Not 1, not 2, but 3 personal foul penalties are now charged against the Panthers here in this first half. And with that, the Mustangs will have more than excellent field position, now well within Panther territory. Ball placed at the 43-yard line, 1st and 10. Stone back to pass. He's now being pressured, as he sheds the defender, still looking for a man downfield, rolls to the right side, and he will keep it himself as he's going to be hit out of bounds, late out of bounds by Keyshawn Johnson, and we have another flag on the play, and this will likely be another personal foul charge against Mr. Keyshawn Johnson.
I'll be honest with you, I thought Stone did a nice job of stepping that. I didn't think Keyshawn got in there that late just because of momentum.
Yes.
I took him, you know. Now, like I said, it's all about protecting the safety, especially for the quarterback going into this day.
Especially in today's football.
Yeah, you know, but like I said, another boneless mistake by the Panthers that could have been prevented. You know, Stone was getting himself up, you know, so now that's 9 penalties.
Yes, sir. And it just happened right before our eyes. We have a timeout on the field charged against the Panthers. And right before that timeout, I was just about to say, if you're the coaching staff, do you burn a timeout right now to get your guys under control? Because you can definitely, to your point, you can definitely tell that they're frustrated right now with the way in which this ball game is going, because one can argue that a lot of it is due to your own mistakes, shooting yourself in the foot, and ultimately, as a player, that can cause you to be frustrated throughout the course of a ball game. So, great job by the coaching staff of the Panthers for calling that timeout, and you would hope that in that huddle that they're trying to get their guys under control because they're completely out of control so far here in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when you go back to just these last 2 drives, you've had 5 unnecessary rough penalties going against you. That's not smart football. That's not football that's going to win you a lot of games.
2 of those penalties were on this drive.
Absolutely, man. So, like I said, you're just trying to recollect things and get back on the right path. You know, still play some good football.
So teams have made their way back onto the field. The Mustangs will have 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line of the Panthers. As Stone is going to air this one on the near side of the field, the pass will be complete near the first down marker. He was able to hook up with number 3, Romello Brinson. 9-yard pickup on that play.
But if you go back to that play before, you know, 2 plays, we had a chance to get Stone in the backfield as Stone looks to pass here. Ball's going to be bobbled out of the hands of the intended wide receiver. Stone could have been sacked for about a 20-yard loss right there, but
he was able to get away
from it. Missed tackles right there will come back and bite you in the butt, man.
Well, we talked about how Stone has looked comfortable in the backfield so far throughout the course of this ball game. But even on that previous play when he was kind of pressured, Stone showed that he has some wheels and he's not necessarily fazed by the pressure, and he has the ability to keep a play alive. And that's what he did on that play. As they're going to hand this one off to the running back, he will pick up a positive yards, and he will have enough for a Mustang first down. Number 0, Kmar Wheaton on the carry for the Mustangs. So to your point, Stone has shown that even as a young guy, not really being fazed by the pressure of the Panthers.
Not at all.
Another handoff to Wheaton. Another solid pickup on that play.
About 4 minutes left here in the second quarter. The Mustangs are threatening to add on to that lead, man.
With the help of the Panthers.
Yeah, with the help. You might as well get the Panthers.
This time a play action fake, and this ball will be caught on the near sideline. And he's going to be brought down out of bounds. And he's going to get in for a touchdown. Wow. So it appears that he was brought down out of bounds, but he was able to extend the ball across the goal line. That was number 3, the wide receiver, Romello Brinson, for the Mustangs. And they're going to say the ball broke the play.
That was an impressive play. It almost didn't go.
Wow.
It almost didn't go into the way that it looked like. It looked like they're going to take another review at it. But, I really, when you go back and look at it, just break it down, the wide receiver was just trying to be a little bit greedy. The ball looked like it got hit out of his hands, but it looked like he was just trying to stretch out to get the touchdown.
Yeah.
I didn't think he got in from here, but official had a better view down on the field. But it looks like they're going to take another look at it.
Well, nonetheless, even if he did not get in, he definitely got enough for a first down. And they're reviewing this to see if he got in or not. So while they're taking a break, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with more Panther action right here on the Yellow Mike Broadcast Network.
Join us each and every Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, for a word of encouragement from the Temple of Refuge Ministries. Simply dial 857-777-0000. Building the kingdom, one soul at a time. Temple of Refuge Ministries, Prairie View, Texas.
And welcome back to Panther Football on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Andre Davis alongside Mr. Philip Prince. The previous play is still under review as they are reviewing to see if Mr. Romello Brinson actually got in the end zone. Well, actually, they're trying to see if the ball actually broke the plane of the end zone before he went out of bounds. Now, the ruling on the field was a touchdown, so they're waiting to see if this actually is enough to overturn. And the officials have made their way onto the field, and they're going to rule this one a touchdown. So the ruling on the field originally was a touchdown. So on that last play, they were reviewing to see if there was enough evidence to overturn that call.
Yeah, he did a nice job of staying in bounds, before the pressure got to him, and then the extra effort of reaching out to get to the pylon to get the touchdown. An intentional job right there by the Mustangs.
So 34-0 is now our score with the PAT to follow. As the snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. So 35-0 is now our score in favor of the SMU Mustangs. Things are getting ugly for the Panthers here in this first half with 3:34 to go in the second quarter. We'll take another break and come back with more Panther action right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
People often ask us, when will we develop an app? And I've been telling them all the time, we already have an app right at your fingertip. That app is 857-777-0000. Save this number on your favorites, put it on your speed dial, and every time there's a live broadcast, dial that number, 857-777-0000. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas.
And welcome back to Panther Football on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Andre Davis alongside Mr. Philip Prince. If you're just now joining us, again, things are looking ugly for the Panthers here from Gerald Ford Stadium as they find themselves trailing this one by the score of 35-0 with 3:44 to go here in the second quarter, Philip.
Yeah, you want to give a quick shout-out to our sponsors real quick. The Prairie View Athletic Club, the Panthers backers, and the Temple of Refuge Ministries. You want to thank those guys. It'd be nothing without them. They would get quick scores, but they're going to get the play real quick.
Yes, sir. So first and 10 for the Panthers at their own 25-yard line. The handoff to Ahmad Antoine. He breaks a few tackles still on his feet, and he's finally going to be brought down after gaining 2 yards on the play. And to your point, when it comes to our sponsors, we also want to let all of our listeners know that September is our listening partnership drive where we ask all of those in company out there, if you've been thrilled with all the coverage and the exciting things that we have provided to you here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, then you will be doing us a huge, huge favor by submitting your donation today. And you can do so by heading to our website at obnradio.com. Again, that's obnradio.com. Click on the donation link, and your contribution will be helping us with our lodging expenses and our traveling expenses as we continue to travel the country to bring you live and delayed coverage throughout Waller County and beyond.
Yeah, on that last play, Conley tried to connect with Metcalf on the one-on-one opportunity right there, but well covered right there by the Mustangs to have the pass break up, bring up third down and 8.
Yes, sir. So with that last incompletion, we do have third down coming up for the Panthers. Ball placed at the 27-yard line. Panthers moving from right to left with 3:04 to go here in the second quarter. Collins going to have two receivers on each side. Antoine offset to his left, and he's going to air this one again downfield. Pass will be incomplete. We have a flag on the play, as this will likely be pass interference charge against the Mustangs, as Collins trying to hook up with number 10, Trajan Spiller, and we talked about the acting job of Preston Stone on the previous drive on that unnecessary roughness penalty. We can make the same argument with Trajan Spiller on that last play.
Yeah, I did not think that was a catch of the ball at all.
So great job by Trajan Spiller for selling that one. As you just look at his body language, he just felt like he was just getting pulled on that play.
Yeah, you can see that the head coach Stanley is agreeing with the same thing right there. You saw it. And he tried to review it at least.
Yes, sir. So incomplete pass on first down. We have 2nd and 10 coming up, and we have some more pushing and shoving going on the field between these two ball clubs.
Yeah, at this point, if you can't win the scoreboard, try and win on the fight with the Panthers.
Walk away victorious in something.
Oh, wow.
2nd and 10 coming up for the Panthers. Ball plays at the 40-yard line. Panthers moving from right to left. We got 2:55 to go here in the second quarter. Conley back to pass. He's in pressure, and he's just going to safely throw this one away, as the Mustangs brought everything but the kitchen sink on that last play.
Well, when you say everything, man, they only had a 4-man rush, but that 4-man rush has been effective all day for the Mustangs, and just collapsing the pocket right there and having no time for Conley to even give his wide receiver to break out, get open on those routes.
And so far throughout this 2023 campaign, I've given a lot of credit to the offensive line of the Panthers for their ability to protect Conley so far in this campaign. But so far, Conley has seen several blue jerseys in his face when he dropped back the pass, and he do so again on that play. This time the pass will be caught near midfield. Won't have enough for a Panthers first down, but there was a completed catch to the tight end, number 89, Mr. David Murray. But again, he won't have enough for a Panthers first down, and with that, we will have 4th down coming up as the punting units make their way onto the field. And you have to ask yourself this, Philip, as we have 2:20 to go here and counting to end the second quarter, as the Mustangs will get the ball back for the end of the second quarter. Will they go aggressive, or will they try to be conservative as they find themselves up 35-0 in this ball game?
Are you talking about from the Mustang standpoint?
Yes, sir. From the Mustang standpoint, will they go aggressive offensively? They're up 35-0. They're going to start this one likely inside their own 20-yard line, where the ball official will be spotted at the 20-yard line. We have 2:05 to go here in the second quarter. They're up 35-0. Will they go aggressive on this drive?
Dan, I'm laughing because I would say a lot of people who probably bet on the game want them to be aggressive.
So they get but they need to. As they're in the process of covering that point spread with 2:05 to go here in the second quarter.
So if I was a betting man, I would want them to be aggressive all as possible, but probably might take a little bit off the gas, just a little bit going into halftime, because they get the ball to start off the half.
Mustangs move from left to right. Stone's got two receivers on each side. As they're going to go with a screen play, that pass will be caught, as he's going to gain about 3 yards on the play.
The defense right there by the Panthers did a nice job of reading that screen before it broke out to any big yardage right there. Only getting 2 yards right there.
Number 13, Roderick Daniels on the reception for the Mustangs. 2nd and 7 coming up. 3 receivers to the right and 1 to the left for Stone. As the Mustangs go to hurry up offense. Stone back to pass. He still has all day, and that pass will be caught past the 35-yard line, still on his feet. And he's finally going to be brought down near the 40-yard line, as he's going to have enough for a Mustangs first down. Number 5, Moochie Dixon. I've been waiting to call that name. I saw that name earlier today. Number 5, Moochie Dixon on the first down for the Mustangs. And they're going to go to hurry up offense. Another completed reception to number 13, Roderick Daniels. As we do have another flag, yes.
See, the Mustangs, they tried to run that screen route onto the other side. And, again, the Panthers did a good job of reading, just missed the tackle in the backfield for a loss right there. And that's number 47 for the Panthers. Number 47 for the Panthers, I'm going to give back there. A lot of pressure. That's Xavier Farrier.
Yes, sir.
And getting back there, just hasn't been able to finish the pass, you know. So, I mean, kudos to him for getting back there, but complete the job.
Got part one. Now we need part two. So that last penalty was a holding penalty charged against the Mustangs. We'll back them up 10 yards, so the Panthers get a little life, if you will. Ball now placed at the 31-yard line. First and 20 for the Mustangs. Moving from left to right. Two receivers on each side for Mr. Preston Stone. Stone, back to pass. Has all day. He has a man. That pass will be caught at the 40-yard line on the near side of the field. Number 8, Jordan Hudson, on that reception for the Mustangs, get those yards back and then some. 2nd and 9 coming up.
Yeah, the corners right there for the Panthers kind of giving too much cushion right there. So allowed him to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
As both corners are sagging off about 10 yards on these receivers. 2nd and 9 coming up. Play action fake. Stones, he's been pressured, but he steps to the pocket. He's finally going to keep it himself, but he will be brought down. Only gained some solid yards on that play. Number 37, Miles McHaney, on the tackle for the Panthers.
Yeah, nice job right there, collapsing the pocket right there on Stone. Almost got in for the sack, for the first sack of the day.
And that's what you're going to have to continue doing. He took off on that play, but he only gained a couple of yards. If you're the defense, you would rather see that than to see Stone just sit back there comfortably and pick you apart if you're the Panthers. As he's going to air this one downfield, and that pass will be caught well within Panther territory. Huge gain through the air. Jake Bailey on a huge reception for the Mustangs and the first down for the Mustangs. And as I just mentioned, no pressure on Stone, so he was able to comfortably stand back there and pick this secondary apart.
Yeah, just fired a good throw right there. Was Stone. He looks to pass here and has a man intended in the corner. And that ball is going to be almost caught. But nice coverage right there by the Panthers corner.
Yes, sir.
And like I said, to loop back to what you just said, man, like the Stone had all day to throw. And also, we could have got away. You saw that on that big play right there was applying the hit with Stacey Brown for the Panthers. He maybe could have gotten there early, but you don't want to get flagged for the pass interference.
Because he definitely get his head turned around on that play.
Not at all. Not at all.
Sir. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Mustangs. Ball at the 24-yard line of the Panthers. Stone, back to pass, has all day. Still looking for a man, and he's going to be pressured. He throws this one, and that pass will be caught inside the 5-yard line. Another first down for the Mustangs. Preston Stone is just standing back there, taking his time. Some slight pressure of the Panther defense started to come, but you can tell this young man was just not fazed by it. He bounced off one defender, looked for a man downfield, completed the pass, and with that, we're going to have first and goal for the Mustangs when these teams return.
Yeah, man, my mouth just dropped wide open when you just see Stone just get out of the pocket as you just watch it collapse on him and then dodge 2 sacks. You know, that would have been, I was getting ready to say that's their first sack of the game, but then right as I'm about to say it, Stone finds a way to get out of it and then managed to be all by himself, set his feet, and throw a nice pass to pick up the first down as SMU was able to pick up the first down and had enough time to call a timeout with 9 seconds left remaining on the play.
9 seconds left on the game clock as the Mustangs will have an opportunity, depending on how they play this. You got 9 seconds. You're inside the 5-yard line. Depending on how they play it, they may not need it, but 9 seconds is enough to actually get not 1 but 2 plays off, depending on how fast you go.
And you still got time out your pocket, so
sir.
Don't be surprised they at least try to go to the end zone pretty quick to at least not stall out the drive, because I'm pretty sure they're going to at least want to try and get 3 on this drive before the.
If they can't get 6, they're going to try to get 3. Going to try to get 3. We just might see that point spread covered
right here in the first half.
Right here in the first half as the teams have made their way onto the field. First and goal for the Mustangs. Ball placed inside the 5-yard line of the Panthers. Mustangs moving from left to right. And play action fake. Stone's going to air this one in the end zone. And he will have enough for a Mustang touchdown. Number 1, Jordan Curley on the touchdown reception for the Mustangs. We had 9 seconds on the game clock, Mr. Phillip Prince. They only needed 4 of those 9 seconds. We still got 5 seconds showing.
And it seemed like he was holding the ball for 9 seconds in that pocket, man. Like he just completed the 4-yard touchdown reception on the wide receiver who made a nice break in on the slant right there. Stone connected and did a nice job of leading his wide receiver to connect on that touchdown.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, and we talked about this young man in our pregame show and how young he is. Again, he's a sophomore for the Mustangs. He's getting his first official start as the field general for the Mustangs for the 2023 campaign. Again, he had some start last year, but he wasn't the official starting quarterback for the Mustangs. So he's getting his first official crack at it for the Mustangs this season. And just the poise of this young man that we're witnessing so far here in this ballgame.
Yeah, you couldn't even tell me, and I wouldn't believe you, that Stone is a sophomore out there. How he managed the game well, as the pocket has collapsed, finding a way to loot out of pressure, and still make the big plays downfield to keep the drive alive. So if you're the Panthers, you got to find a way to get to him, because there could have been a lot of plays, drives that stalled for in your favor, ending up for a sack and loss. The Preston did a nice job. And
it makes you wonder, for those out there that are just tuning in, again, the Panthers are trailing badly in this one by the score of 42-0. This is a non-conference opponent that is the SMU Mustangs. The Panthers will be returning to conference play next week when they go on the road to Norman, Mississippi to take on the Alcorn State Braves. And with that being said, you just have to wonder, as you find yourselves down 42-0 in this ball game, even though we have a lot of ball game left to be played. We alluded to this early in our pregame show. You have to wonder how much more of the starters that you're going to see in this ball game for the Panthers, given who you're playing against, given what the scoreboard looks like. Again, up in the broadcast booth, we don't want to make too many speculations because we're not 100% sure. However, when you look at who you're playing against, who you have to play against next week, and what the score is, those questions are warranted here for this ball game.
Yeah, and like I said, we don't call the shots. We're just up here calling the game. But I would take them out. At least I may give them another drive or two to start off the third. But other than that, I take them out, just to keep their safety and healthy, because you want to at least walk out of this game with no injuries. So far, so good. Not so far so good, trailing by a score of 42-0. But like I said, there's a lot you can learn from it if you're a Panthers. You don't want to see them walking down with their head, because they said this is a tough matchup.
Yes, sir.
So you want to do anything that you can build up confidence, if anything. Don't always look after them, because the negative can also lead to some positive.
A very tough opponent that you're facing here, as the Panthers took a knee on that last play to take this ball game in the halftime here from Gerald Ford Stadium. 42-0 is our score in favor of the SMU Mustangs. We are at halftime here from Gerald Ford Stadium. We'll take a quick break as the Marching Storm is getting ready to take center field. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll fire them up and let them do their thing here from Gerald Ford Stadium. You listen to Panther Football right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. SWAC opponents to start this 2023 campaign. You see they're trying to bounce back this week against Alabama A&M. So we'll be sure to continue updating each and every one of you throughout the course of this ball game as it unfolds. As we mentioned at the beginning of our broadcast, the Panthers started off with the first possession of this ball game, so they will kick this one off as the Mustangs had a solid return, getting this one to their own 41-yard line to start this first possession of the third quarter, moving from right to left. As Stone is going to drop back the pass, he has a man downfield, and that pass will be broken up. Incomplete pass on the play.
Yes, right there by the cornerback for the Panthers did a nice job of deflecting that pass just a little bit, just kind of got in the way before of the focus point of the Mustang wide receiver right there. A well-placed ball by Stone.
Mallet? Yes, sir.
He did a nice job, like I said, of covering and staying within the whole play.
Malachi Harrison on that coverage for the Panthers on that play, 2nd and 10 coming up. Ball placed at the 41-yard line. Play action fake. The time he has a man, that pass will be caught, and he will get past midfield. Breaks tackle. As he passes the 40, it's a foot race. Past the 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Mustangs. Number one, Jordan Curley on another touchdown reception for the Mustangs. Broke not one, not two, but 3 tackles on that play.
Yeah, and right there you had 2 Panther defenders right there and could bring him down. And he was able to stay up on his feet somehow had to break away and score that touchdown right there. Yeah, right there, just dodged 2 tackles, just coming in there just crazy. Couldn't keep from even just picking up the first down right there.
Jordan Curley of the Mustangs would not be denied on that play as he able to add more points on the scoreboard for the Mustangs. 48-0 is now our score with the PAT to follow as the snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. So now 49-0 is our score in favor of the Mustangs. First possession of the third quarter as they was able to capitalize and put more points on the board here from Gerald Ford Stadium. We'll take another break and come back with more Panther action right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
The first annual Team Domino Tournament affects double elimination, benefiting Prairie View A&M Athletics. Sponsored by the Panther Support Network, Panther Backers, Panther Club, PV Athletic Club, and Cheerleaders. The time and date for this location is Saturday, September 23rd, 2023, and the time will be from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. The location will be at the Kappa House, and the address is 3349 Southmore Street, Houston, Texas. Lunch and snacks with soft drinks will be provided from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. BYOB for adult beverages. The full dinner will be served at 4:30 p.m. The registration fee is $125 per player, and the payment method is Zelle. And the number for that Zelle is 713-417-2090. And the email is lindallrob@gmail.com. The spelling for that is LYNDAL rob@gmail.com. Checks can be sent to Panther Backers, and the address for that is 3611 Heritage Colony, Missouri City, Texas. The zip code is 77004. Donations are accepted. All funds collected and donated are tax deductible. The person of contact for all info will be Greg Austin, and his home number is 832-653-5703. His personal cell number is 713-562-8181. His email is abazulu247@gmail.com. And the spelling for that is ABBAZULU247@gmail.com.
It's been all Mustang football so far here from Gerald Ford Stadium by way of Dallas, Texas. Welcome back to Panther Football on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Andre Davis alongside Mr. Philip Prince. And want to remind all of our listeners that the Panthers will be continuing to take this show on the road next week as they travel into northern Mississippi to take on the Alcorn State Braves in their second conference matchup of this 2023 campaign. And you can listen to all that action as it unfolds right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. But before we continue to look forward to next week, the Panthers still have their work cut out for them here in this ball game as they're going to be getting their first crack at it here to start this third quarter as they find themselves trailing this one 49-0.
Yeah, let's see if they decide to keep out that starting line, the starters out there. It looks like they are. That's first drive right now. So it looks like they're just trying to build some positive momentum going in after the second half right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You want to try to see at least if your starters are able. I mean, we understand the team that you're playing here this evening, but you want to try to see if your stars are able to put at least some points on the board here in this ball game. As they're going to go with a play action fake. Pass will be incomplete. As he was trying to hook up with David Murray, the tight end, on that play, nothing doing. 2nd and 10 coming up, ball spotted at the 25-yard line of the Panthers, moving from left to right.
Yeah, right there, like I said, nothing was there. It looked like he just kind of forced it. kind of got some pressure in his face, but couldn't make a good pass right there.
And great coverage by the Mustang secondary. 2nd and 10 coming up. This time a handoff to Ahmad Antoine. Gained some positive yards on the play. About 2.5 yards to be exact. 3 if you're generous.
Yeah, that was the hardest 2.5 yards to block, too, man. He's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8. Say a 7.
They're going to say 7. Yeah, ball is fired at the 28-yard line. 14:05 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Well,
Panthers typically, yes, sir.
Well, they could say, man, if you did bet on the game, the spread is covered right now. So.
Oh, spread is more than covered. Spread is more than covered. It is more than covered. Panthers usually go with an empty backfield on 3rd down. This time they're going to have a running back to accompany Ahmad Antoine. To accompany Trayvon Conley, as he's going to be hit in the backfield for a sack on the play.
And again, right there, it seems like that forefront for the Mustangs is just having its way. Not having to add any extra pressure at all to get to Conley, and he was able to go. You know what I'm saying? The Mustang was able to get that sack right there for their 3rd sack of the night.
Elijah Roberts can be credited with the sack on that play by the Mustangs. His 2nd sack in this ball game. Had a sack in the first half on Trayvon Conley as he gets another sack on that last play. 4th down coming up. Punting unit on the field to punt this one off. As this punt is going to sail out of bounds. Not quite what you're looking for if you're Panther Nation, as the Mustangs will have excellent field position to start their 2nd drive of this 3rd quarter. 3 and now for the Panthers offensively. As the defense comes onto the field, and we talked about in the beginning of this ball game, for the Panthers offensively, you want to kind of see them sustain a drive just a little bit longer to give your defense a break, to give them a rest. They weren't able to do it on that last play. The defense is back out onto the field.
Yeah, and also, too, I mean, it doesn't help neither when the defense is only out there, too, for like a half of a second.
So one can answer, they should be well rested. The last drive of the Mustangs were only 2 plays. The quarterback is going to keep this one, and he's going to get past midfield. He's going to be brought down near the 1st down marker as the Mustangs went with the backup quarterback on that play. As we're showing the number 1.
Well, it might be a number 7 right there.
The number 7, yes. Kevin Jenkins, 1 and 7. looks similar up here on the broadcast booth. Number 7, Kevin Jenkins, the backup quarterback, will now take the stage here to start this 2nd drive for the Mustangs. He's going to hand off to the running back, who will have more than enough for a Mustangs 1st down. So we see the backup quarterback now in for the Mustangs. We talked about Preston Stone and the amount of success he had in the first half and the fact that he was able to hook up with Mr. Jordan Curley on their first possession of the 3rd quarter. And now that we see the backup quarterback in, is it safe to say that Mr. Preston Stone, that his night may be over for the Mustangs?
We hope so. We hope so, man. He's been torching the Panthers defense all night, man.
As we have an injured Panther on the field, that's the linebacker, number 44, Warren Schenkel. Appears to be shaken up on the play. We certainly hope that young man is okay. He is standing up, appears to be walking with a limp.
Like it might be his ankle right there.
Warren Schenkel responsible for the only turnover that the Panthers have had defensively in this ball game. Had an interception in the first quarter of the first half.
And like, even though that goes on Stone's, stats, that play wasn't even on him because it had got off the wide receiver's hands. And luckily, we had our player there.
With a 14 for 18 that he threw in the first half, along with the 241 yards and the 4 touchdowns, will more than likely outshine that one interception he had in the first half. As the teams are back out onto the field, play does resume. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. Play action fake. He throws this one. He has a man that pass is caught. Pass the 40, pass the 35, and he's going to be brought down near the 1st down marker. As they're going to say he has enough for a Mustang 1st down.
Yeah, right there, the wide receiver for the Mustangs did a nice job of holding this block. But now the Mustang receiver on that reception right there was number 30 for the Mustangs. Get the name out there for you.
So ball's going to be spotted at the 33-yard line of the Panthers. Mustangs moving from right to left. This time a handoff to the running back. He keeps his legs moving. He's going to be brought down after picking up some positive yards for the Mustangs. Number 0, Kmar Wheaton on the carry for the Mustangs.
Yeah, sorry, that was Carter Campbell. It is hard to read these rosters because they got an alphabetical order instead of numerical order. So you got to go mindful, especially now they got the backups in.
Yes, sir. 2nd and 4 coming up for the Mustangs. Ball plays at the 27-yard line. 3 receivers to the right and 2 to the left. And it's time of play action fake. He has a man. That pass will be caught on the near side of the field. Keeps his legs moving. Breaks to defenders. And he will be in for a Mustang touchdown as SMU is now pouring it on here from Gerald Ford Stadium. Number 9, Keyshawn Smith on the touchdown reception for the Mustangs.
Now, I thought he got out of bounds on there because the head official had his hat off and he went to discuss it right there. Yes, but I think if he got pushed out, it's going to be okay. But I saw on the side right there that he went out of bounds, then came back and was the first one to touch it.
Well, the officials are actually huddled up right now at the 10-yard line, and they're actually discussing what you're alluding to, Mr. Phillip Prince.
But then also, again, to another poor job by the Panthers right there. 2 guys couldn't bring him down right there, and he was able to get in for the touchdown.
We're still showing 49-0 on, well, it just changed now, so 55-0 is now our score as the officials indicates that it is a touchdown as the PAT unit kicks this one, and it is good. So 56-0 is now our score in favor of the SMU Mustangs. Some sloppy tackling on 2 possessions in a row by this Panther defense, and the Mustangs are pouring it on here from Gerald Ford Stadium. We'll take another break and come back with more Panther action right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
This broadcast has been made possible by the support of the Prairie View Athletic Club. The Prairie View Athletic Club is a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics. For more information on becoming a member of the Prairie View Athletic Club, send your email to pvathletic.club@gmail.com. That email address again is pvathletic.club@gmail.com. Prairie View Athletic Club, a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics.
And welcome back to Panther Football right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. 56-0 is now our score in favor of the SMU Mustangs. If you just now joined us, broadcasting live from Gerald Ford Stadium, home of the SMU Mustangs by way of Dallas, Texas, as the teams have made their way back onto the field to kick this one off. Mustangs kicking from right to left. And this time, Brian Jenkins will field this one at the 5-yard line, get past his head, and he finds going to be brought down at the 11-yard line. And that's where the Panthers will set up shop, or check that, the 16-yard line. And that's where the Panthers will set up shop to start this next possession. So we saw the second string of the Mustangs offensively on that last possession, and it appears that we're going to see the same replica of the Panthers to start this drive of the third quarter as the backup quarterback C.J. Dumas checks in for the Panthers to start this next possession, and they're going to go with a play-action fake, pass downfield, incomplete. C.J. Dumas was trying to hook up with number 18, Christopher Simmons, on that last play.
Yeah, just right there, Dumas, first play comes in chunking it. Maybe if the SMU defense wasn't getting that so much pressure to him, maybe could have set time, against a different opponent, because he had all day to throw. Things like could have picked his poison, but it's well covered down the field by the Mustangs.
Offensive line did a fairly job of protecting C.J. on that last play. As we have second and 10 coming up, this time he's going to hand off to the running back. Gains a couple of yards on the play as the sophomore running back, Connor Wysham, takes the carry for the Panthers. And that's something, and this is a young man that we didn't really see in that first half. I talked about this last week. The Panthers are not getting this young man going often and early in the ball game. We saw 2 weeks ago against Texas Southern, didn't really get his first carry to the second half, and then even last week against the Wildcats, not really getting a whole lot of action in the ball game. And then here against the Mustangs, his first carry of this ball game comes in the third quarter with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, you want to use any kind of energy that you can get, to help anything go in a positive motion for the Panthers.
So third and long coming up as Dumas steps into the pocket, and he's going to safely slide down. Only gains a yard on the play, so fourth down coming up. 3 and now for the Panthers as the punting units make their way onto the field.
Yeah, that was just a quick 3 and out right there for the Panthers. Maybe got a minute off the game clock. You want a little bit longer sustainable drives right there, at least trying to open up the playbook, but the Panthers could get nothing going on right there on that drive.
We saw the backup quarterback, C.J. Dumas, trying to air it downfield. To your point, didn't really give his wide receiver an opportunity just to really get open on that play. I mean, he dropped back the pass, and he let it fly after 1 second.
Yeah, like I said, and then tried to force it almost in a two-man coverage right there, but still look to that, he couldn't really take his time to oversee the whole field because he had pressure right in front of his face right before he threw the ball.
And similar to Preston Stone, you can make a case for C.J. Dumas that he's a young quarterback. Haven't really saw much action on the field his second year as a Panther. He sat behind Trayvon Conley last year as we saw Trayvon Conley get majority and really all of the action at quarterback last year. And then even when there were times where Conley may have been shaken up or he wasn't out there, we saw Chris Herron, who's actually now a receiver for the Panthers, we saw him get more of a crack at it from the QB position. So to his credit, this is a young quarterback with little to zero experience on the field. So don't be surprised. We have a long second half to go, 9:19 to be exact in the third quarter. Don't be surprised if we see Mr. C.J. Dumas make some mistakes. I mean, we're not trying to speak anything into existence, but because he's a young quarterback and because he doesn't have much experience on the field, we may see some questionable decisions by this young man that may be a head-scratcher.
Yeah, you could probably see that they might try to open up the playbook just a little bit too, Of course, you're trailing by a score of 56-0, There's not much you can do right now, but just keep fighting in this game, Maybe something might turn out, some good luck could happen, but, 56 is a lot of points to come back from, So, as I said, as a young quarterback, we don't need to come out there and try to win the game, win it off of one play, off of one drive, Like I said, take what the defense is giving you, and just make the correct check down, make the correct, throw, run when you got to, don't try to force those things.
And as we mentioned in the early part of our broadcast, for those out there that are listening, I'm not sure how much of a party it's going to be, but you can join us for the 1876 After Party Postgame Show featuring yours truly, Dr. Mike Prince, who's going to break down the X's and O's, the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm sure there's a lot of ugly to point to in this ball game, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything far in between. But at the same time, also what the Panthers have to look forward to as well next week when they go on the road to Norman, Mississippi to face not only a conference opponent, a divisional opponent, that is the Braves of Alcorn State.
Yeah, if anything, this is just a wake-up call to the Panthers. Hey, we might have thought we were all that, but this is the truth to say that we're not. You know, now let's bounce back from this. Like I said, the West is wide open still. You know, let's use this game to show, okay, we did some things that, you know, probably didn't help us out. You know, you lose to the 9 penalties in the first half. That's a lot of penalties, and you have more penalty yardage than you do total yardage. You know,
yes, sir.
So there's nothing much you can do with that if you're not helping your own case.
Teams have made their way back onto the field. Wildcats moving from right to left. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Ball is placed at their own 47-yard line as number 7, Kevin Jennings, the quarterback for the Mustangs, to start this next possession. He's going to have 3 receivers to the right and 1 to the left. He'll hand it off to the running back, who has a wide-open hole. It appears that he lost his footing, if you will, gets past the 50-yard line, picks up some positive yards on that play.
Thankfully, he lost his footing because it seemed like that was going to be broken up for another, like, almost 40-yard gain right there.
I haven't played football in years, and I believe I could have ran through that hole. My goodness. 2nd and 4 coming up for the Mustangs. Ball placed at their own, check that, the Panthers' 47-yard line. 3 receivers to the right and 1 to the left for Mr. Jennings. Another handoff to the running back, and he will get past the 40-yard line. Actually, he's going to be brought down right at the 40-yard line. It will be enough for a Mustangs first down. Kmar Wheaton on the carry for the Mustangs.
Yeah, like I said, there's another wide open hole for him to pick and choose where he wanted to go to. He selected the right one. They're able to pick up the first down.
And when you find yourself down 56-0, that is the Panthers. You know, I'm looking at the body language on the sideline, and you almost kind of get that defeated body language by the Panthers.
Yeah, of course, man. You know, like I said, not the outcome that you wanted to coming into this game. You know, you at least you always expect you're going to have a winning chance when you come out there. You know, then, you know, reality hits right there, you know. But like I said, there's a lot that could be taken away from here. You know, some missed opportunities that were missed on the offensive side. You know, could have done a better job of giving, you know, Conley some more time to throw, you know. So, you know, to allow that running game like you want to open up, you know. But like I said, they go back to the drawing board, you know, and you just try to weed out the positive out of something negative like this.
2nd and 6 for the Mustangs. Ball plays at the 36-yard line. And another handoff to Wheaton as they're still pushing the power forward as he gets near the first down marker. Won't have quite enough for a Mustang first down. And check that. That was actually number 27, Mr. Zane Miners, on that carry for the Mustangs, as we saw a complete defensive line substitution on that previous play for the Panthers. We talked about it before, how deep the Panthers are on the defensive line as far as the roster is concerned, and they had an entire line substitution on that last play.
Oh, yeah. You came in with some fresh legs, hoping to get a stop right here as the ball is handed off back to the running back. He's just going to chug his way up, picking up the first down, picking up 6 yards right there. Only needed 2.
More than 6 yards. So all runs on this drive so far for the Mustangs. We talked about the success that they've had through the air throughout the course of this ball game, but on this particular drive, all runs so far, the clock does continue to move. With that being said, as we have 6:28 to go here in the third quarter, but the Mustangs are looking at a fresh set of downs now. Ball placed inside the 30-yard line and 27 to be exact, 1st and 10. Another handoff as the Mustangs are just going with the read option on this drive, handing it off to the running back, number 27, Zane Miners, on another carry for the Mustangs. Picks up 4 yards on the play.
And if you're the Panthers, man, you just want to try just, like I said, at least if you can win this half without committing as many penalties as you did the first half, just clean up on the open field tackles.
Got to point to the positives, right?
Yes, sir.
2 receivers to the right and 1 to the left for Mr. Jennings. This time, play action fake, and he's going to keep it himself. Has a wide open man on the near side of the field, and he will take this in for a Mustang touchdown. Number 32, Joey Bruiser, on the touchdown reception for the Mustangs. So the Mustangs essentially set the Panthers up on that drive. They went with a read option at least 5 times in a row. And when the time came, they faked the read option, had a wide open receiver downfield as the Panthers were playing run on that last play. And with that, Mustangs are looking at another touchdown.
Yeah, a smart play call right there on the RPO. All he had to do was he could have ran it if he wanted to, but then he did a nice job
Well, it appears that the quarterback, Jennings, was looking like he was going to run.
Yes, sir.
And that's what allowed the defense to kind of draw closer. And at the last minute, he dumped it off to his receiver, wide open in the end zone, touchdown Mustangs.
Touchdown just like that. Now the deficit grows 62-0 here in the third quarter with 5 minutes and 46 left to go.
Yes, sir. 62-0 is our score in favor of the Mustangs. The Mustangs were able to shave some time off the clock. 5:46 to go here in the third quarter. We'll take a break and come back with more Panther action right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
We certainly hope that you're enjoying our live coverage of Panther football right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. While we have a break in the action, we want to ask all of our listeners, have you been thrilled with the content and sports coverages provided to you here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network? If so, we want to take this opportunity to let you know for as little as 17 cents a day, yes, you heard it correctly, for just 17 cents a day, you can become a listening partner right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. To do so, all you have to do is head to our website at obnradio.com. Again, that's obnradio.com. And fill out the inquiry form at the bottom of the page, and your monthly contributions will help us continue bringing you live and delayed sports coverages throughout Waller County and beyond. And again, it's only on the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the station designed with you in mind.
5:46 to go here in the third quarter. Mustangs on top of this one by the score of 63-0, coming to you live from Gerald Ford Stadium by way of Dallas, Texas. Andre Davis alongside Mr. Philip Prince as the Panthers have this one at their own 25-yard line to start this next possession here in the third quarter, as C.J. Dumas attempted to pass on the far side of the field as it was incomplete. And with that, we have second down coming up, as he's going to be accompanied by Caleb Johnson. Caleb Johnson going to be offset to his. Now check that. That's going to be number 27, Mr. Jamario Brooks will be the running back for the Panthers, as he takes the carry, picks up 1 yard on the play. And with that, we have 3rd and 9 coming up for the Panthers.
Yeah, you want to see how the Panthers select to try to call this game here on out. You know, if they're going to try to pass it to more to see, you know, what options they have at wide receiver, you know, see what play calls, you know, that might work, you know, or are they going to just try to keep running the clock out, you know. Right now, you're just trailing 63-0. You're just trying to keep anything that you can positive in front of the game.
Yes,
as
sir.
the ball's handed off to the running back, going to lose yardage right there. Didn't have anywhere to go to. That's going to bring up a 4th down for the Panthers.
Yeah, Jamario Brooks on the carry for the Panthers on that last play. We do have 4th down coming up, and to your point, I mean, you have to understand that you have a young quarterback, your backup quarterback on the field for you. You know, likely you're not going to be coming back in this ball game. You're trailing 63-0. We have 4:25 and counting here in the third quarter. You know, ultimately you want to get out this ball game unscathed and look forward to what you have coming up. As this punt is going to be met at the 40-yard line, and he's going to take this one out of bounds near the 40-yard line, and that's where the Mustangs will have their next possession here in the third quarter, moving from right to left.
And it looks like there's going to be another quarterback change for the Mustangs. It's going to be Alex Padilla going in for the Mustangs.
Well, this is an opportunity. This is also an opportunity for the Mustangs to give guys who typically don't really see a whole lot of the field, especially when you look at the Mustang schedule and who they typically have to face. Usually don't really see a lot of your second string and your third string quarterback. So this is also an opportunity for the Mustangs to get a solid look at the guys on the depth chart to see what they can do.
Yeah, like I said, more opportunities for more mouths to feed games like this. So that ball's going to be handed off to the running back. We'll get his name here in a second. He's able to pick up about 3 yards right there on the carry to break up a 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, that's actually going to be, we're showing number 0 on our roster, Mr. Kmar Wheaton. It looks like a different number 0 to me. But either way, we can only go with what we see in front of us as we have 2nd and 7 for the Mustangs, a handoff to Mr. Wheaton as he tries to bounce to the left side. Not a whole lot doing as he was able to pick up 1 yard on the play.
Yeah, nice open field tackle right there by Trayvon Guidry right there. To only allow him getting 2 yards right there on that carry.
So 3rd and 5 coming up as the quarterback, the 3rd-string quarterback, Mr. Alex Padilla, stays out there on the field for the Mustangs. He's going to have 2 receivers on each side as Wheaton's going to be offset to his left. Ball is placed at the 45-yard line. Mustangs moving from right to left. As Padilla's going to drop back the pass, he has a man. That pass is going to be caught in Panther territory, brought down at the 30-yard line, and he's going to have more than enough for a Mustang first down.
Yeah, that was a 26-yard reception right there from Padilla connected to his tight end right there.
That was Tripp Warden on the reception for the Mustangs. 1st and 10 now. Ball played well within Panther territory at the 29-yard line to be exact. That completion does keep the clock rolling here in the 3rd quarter as we have 2:20 to go. Another handoff to the running back, and he's going to stiff arm 2 defenders. Finally going to be brought down at the 20-yard line. 9-yard pickup on the play.
Yeah, you can see right there on that run. He's still, even the 3rd string right now, is still running hard and effective like they were the 1st string. You couldn't even tell the difference.
Well, this is typically the amount of time that we're seeing that we usually don't see from the 3rd string guys. That's number 27, Zane Miners, checks in at running back for the Mustangs. You can make a case that this is probably the most field time that they might see the entire season. So with that being said, they're going to take full advantage of it.
Absolutely, and they still got a point to prove. Maybe this might move them up in the depth chart some, you know. Maybe they might have got outlooked, you know, and this like I said, this gives them an opportunity, you know, to showcase what they got.
Yes, sir. So another run on that play by Mr. Zane Miners. He picks up enough for another Mustang first down. So ball is now played inside the 20-yard line, 15-yard line of the Panthers to be exact. 1st and 10 as the Mustangs are just taking their time here. Number 16, Alex Padilla, stays out there as quarterback for the Mustangs. He gets the call. He's got 2 receivers on each side. Miners offset to his right. Another handoff to Miners, and he picks up some solid yards, 4 yards to be exact. 2nd and 6 coming up.
Yeah, 2nd and 6 right now. Like I said, the Mustangs offense like doing a nice job right here, just controlling the clock, taking your time, and like I said, just seeing what the defense is giving you, not having to force anything. And then there's no reason to when you're up by a score. It's 6-0 right now.
No, there's absolutely no reason to. Taking your time, seeing what the defense is giving you, and from there, governing yourself accordingly. As we have 2nd and 6 coming up, ball placed at the 11-yard line of the Panthers. 2 receivers to the right and 1 to the left. Another handoff for Zane Miners, and he's going to be brought down at the 5-yard line, which is near the first down marker. And it appears that they will give him enough for a Mustangs first down.
Well, you kind of see on the sideline that the SMU Mustangs are enjoying the Prairie View Marching Storm right now. And it seems like they just got all that energy going right now for them.
Yes, sir. Well, that last play will take us to the end of the 3rd quarter here from Gerald Ford Stadium. And when we come back, teams will switch sides, and we will have the top of the 4th quarter, all Mustang football here from Gerald Ford Stadium. We'll take a break and come back with more Panther action right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
The Prairie View Athletic Club has been serving and supporting student athletes since 1986. This group of volunteers believe in supporting and the motto that Prairie View produces productive people. For more information on how you can become part of this winning team, simply dial 936-857-5817. Every time you support the Prairie View Athletic Club, you are supporting Prairie View Athletics, and it is also tax deductible. So once again, for more information on how to become a member of the Prairie View Athletic Club, simply dial 936-857-5817. Who you rooting for? PVU.
And welcome back to Panther Football right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Andre Davis alongside Mr. Philip Prince. Teams haven't made their way back onto the field just yet, but it has been Mustang football if you're just now joining us. 63-0 is our score in favor of the SMU Mustangs. And we want to take this opportunity to remind all of our listeners that September is our listening partnership drive where we ask you, if you've been thrilled with all the exciting things that we provided to you here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, then would you be so kindly to send your donation to us today? And you can do so by visiting our website at obnradio.com. Again, that's obnradio.com. Click on the donation button, as your contributions will help us with our lodging expenses and our traveling expenses as we continue to travel the country to bring you live and delayed coverage right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Yes, sir. We want to give you some scoring updates throughout the SWAC right now. Florida A&M is up over West Florida by a score of 31-10 with 3 minutes and 4 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Rice is up over Texas Southern by a score of 52-7 with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Southern up over Alabama A&M by a score of 17-10 with 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Delta State is up over Mississippi Valley State by a score of 22-7. The fourth quarter just started there. Jackson State just scored a touchdown. Now they trailing by a score of 20-18 to Texas State with 11 minutes to go into the second. I feel like that's a firing offensive score right there. As mentioned, Grambling won earlier by a score of 58-22. Arkansas Pine Bluff won by a score of 21-20 over Miles, and Alcorn State won by a score of 17-3 over McNeese.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Philip Prince, as Kamar Wheaton takes a carry for the Mustangs. Teams have switched sides now, so the Mustangs is moving from left to right. Ball inside the 5-yard line of the Panthers. Second and goal coming up for the Mustangs, and based on those scorings, it appears that it's a tight ball game between Southern and Alabama A&M. Alabama A&M trying to make it a tight ball game. You said it's 17-10 in favor of the SMU Jaguars. Game is in the fourth quarter, so we'll definitely be following that game to get the final scores of that game, as Mr. Kamar Wheaton will take this carry in for a Mustang touchdown.
As I say, for again, another touchdown for the SMU Mustangs. It's going to add on to the scoring outburst right now that they have displayed here on their home territory. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to protect home territory as they've done so far here today.
Well, protecting home turf is an understatement, as we actually are seeing several crowd members exit stage left. And majority of, and as we mentioned before, majority of the crowd here from Gerald Ford Stadium has been that of the SMU Mustangs, of course, as the Panthers are on the road. We are here in Dallas, Texas, but majority of this crowd makeup is for the SMU Mustangs, and even they've seen enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I think at this point now, they are also just enjoying the band as much as we are right now. You know, the band trying to help out the Panthers stay within this, you know, as we want to thank Dylan for traveling all the way out from Prairie View to be out here to support their Panthers.
Yes, sir. We definitely want to thank the Marching Storm of Prairie View A&M University for traveling on the road here to Dallas. And we'll be seeing them again in a couple of weeks when they come back to Dallas for the Cotton Bowl, the annual Cotton Bowl between the Panthers of Prairie View A&M University and the Tigers of Grambling State, as our score is now 69-0 in favor of the SMU Mustangs. We'll take another break.
Hold on, Andre. Hold on. Let's take some pauses right there before we go into the break. The Panthers just got a blocked field goal point after attempt right there. So that's
yes, they did. Let me get
yes, they did. Right there. Don't put up just yet.
Yes.
Don't put up just yet.
Yes, yeah. I don't want. Well, I'm still gonna run off.
Yeah.
We're still gonna let a break. But thank you, Mr. Philip Prince, for letting us know that yes, there is a positive you can pull. The Panthers blocked the extra point. So what would have been 7?
Yeah, it would have been
69. It's now 69. We'll take a break and come back with more positives of Panther football right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Hey, Panther fans, don't forget, following the conclusion of this game, you can join us for the 1876 After Party Post-Game Show. And you can do so by going to the website at obnradio.com. 15 minutes following the conclusion of our broadcast coverage, yours truly, Dr. Mike Prince, will break down the X's and O's and give us his overall assessment of today's game. So tell a friend to tell another friend to tell that friend to head on down to the 1876 post-game after party. And you can do so right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the station designed with you in mind. We're taking a break in our broadcast coverage of Panther football right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We want to remind all of our listeners that you can become a part of our broadcast coverage right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. To become a listening partner, all you have to do is visit our website at obnradio.com. If you've been thrilled with our broadcast coverage and all the exciting things we have coming here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, your simple donations of just 17 cents a day will help support our programming here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We've been serving the community through faith in athletics since 2002, the voice of student athletics. The station designed with you in mind, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas.
And welcome back to Panther Football on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Andre Davis alongside Mr. Philip Prince. Teams have made their way back onto the field to kick this off. Mustangs kicking from left to right. As this kick will sail in the back of the end zone, Panthers will have this one at their own 25-yard line, moving from right to left.
So now if you're the Panthers, you just want to try and just put anything positive going out there, this drive, Let's see if we can put some points on the board here,
Yes, sir.
Let's cut down the deficit just a little bit, right?
Either way, one thing we can definitely point out to is the Marching Storm putting on the show here in Dallas, Texas, as they always do, oh so well.
Nothing like that Marching Storm, man.
Giving us all the sounds for our listening ears, as they always do, as Mr. C.J. Dumas will take the stage yet again for the Panthers in the backfield, as the Panthers will be moving from right to left. He's going to have two receivers to the left and one to the right. A handoff to the running back, gets past the first wave of defenders, going to be brought down, picking up some solid yards on the play. Number 27, Mr. Jamario Brooks on the carry for the Panthers.
Yeah, now the Panthers might be able to run it up the middle like they wanted to from earlier in the half, because all those big dogs ain't in there right now.
Actually, check that. That was actually number 7, Mr. Ronald Young, on that carry for the Panthers. So 2nd and 3 coming up. And, yes, to your point, don't see a whole lot of those big dogs on the front line on the defensive side for the Mustangs. So now that hole looks a little more wide open now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So now he's going to bring, like I said, a second down and 3 now for the Panthers.
Yes, sir. Ball spotted at the 37-yard line. 2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Another handoff to Mr. Young. As he breaks a few tackles, get past midfield. Huge gain on that play and another first down for the Panthers. Ronald Young Jr. on a solid carry for the Panthers on that play.
Yeah, almost turned into nothing for a second. Then he just burst it open and just kept his feet tugging. Pick up some more positive yardage right there.
Can we see some points on the board for the Panthers on this drive? Even if it's just 3, we saw some glimpse of it in the first half where the Panthers had an opportunity to score. They got in the red zone more than one time in this ball game, weren't able to put points on the board. But before we leave Gerald Ford Stadium, are the Panthers able to put points on the board here in Dallas, Texas?
The ball's going to be handed off to the tailback, and he's maybe going to get back to the line of scrimmage right there. He tried to find something, tried to bounce it outside, but he was met immediately by a host of Mustangs right there.
Yes, sir. Mr. Ronald Young Jr. on that carry for the Panthers was trying to make something out of nothing. As he was met at the line of scrimmage, he tried to bounce it to the outside, to your point, but the Mustangs were all over him on that play. But the clock does continue to run here. We got 12:15 to go here in this fourth quarter. 69-0 is our score in favor of the Mustangs. Would be 70-0, but due to the blocked extra point, the Panthers special teams coming through on that last play with the blocked extra point. As another handoff to Mr. Ronald Young on that play, picks up positive yards as the Panthers will have 3rd and manageable on this next play. 3rd and 7 to be exact. Ball placed at the 46-yard line.
Yeah, you see how they say they're just taking some time off the clock. Of course, this game is mostly put away from now on, here on out. But like I said, you just want to try and find something to click, get some motion going in the right way for your offense going lead into next week.
Well, one of the things that we can honestly point out that was actually a positive for the Mustangs, I mean, they had plenty of positives to choose from in this game, but one of the things that we noticed in the second half that we didn't quite see successfully in the first half, as they're going to hand off again to Mr. Young. He's only going to get a few yards, won't have enough for a first down. So 4th down coming up. One of the things that we noticed that the Mustangs were successful at in the second half was the running game. One of the things that we didn't really see in the first half was the Mustangs having too much success on the ground. Most of their success came through the air, but in the second half, the Mustangs were able to establish both. They was able to continue establishing the passing game that we saw successfully, and they was also able to establish the running game as well. And I honestly feel like that's what really started to separate this thing for the Mustangs.
Yeah, the Mustangs had a complete game all the way around, from the passing side of things to the rushing. Real complete game right there, from the pressing all the way down to the whole entire offense. At the right time, didn't force anything when he didn't need to. Look what the defense gave him to make the right read.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the Mustangs will start as that last possession, that last play was punted off, as they're going to field this one at the 15-yard line, fair catch. So that's where the Mustangs will set up shop, move from left to right to start this next possession. And want to remind all of our listeners that the Panthers will continue to take this show on the road as they travel to Norman, Mississippi next week to take on conference opponent, and not just conference opponent, but West Division opponent, the Braves of Alcorn State in Norman, Mississippi. And you can catch all of that action right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network as it unfolds.
And like I said, we're looking forward to that matchup right there for the Panthers. If anything, like I said, you can get back on the track on where things need to be at. Like I said, to take over that West. Because like I said, last time they won the SWAC championship was since 2009, and it's time to get things heading back into the PV direction.
Yes, sir. Made it to the SWAC championship game in 2021. Weren't able to get things done as they fell short to Jackson State in that SWAC championship game. The last time the Panthers won the SWAC championship was in 2009, led by Mr. K.J. Black. So if you're the Panthers, and we mentioned this before the pregame show, Philip, West Division, and when you look at the start of this 2023 campaign, again, still early in this 2023 campaign, but when you look at some of the teams in the West Division that the Panthers are also a part of, when you look at some of the success that we normally see them have, that we haven't seen them have so far in this 2023 campaign, that is the Alcorn State Braves, and that is the Grambling State Tigers, and we cannot forget the Southern Jaguars. Not really a great start for either one of those teams to start this 2023 campaign. Now, of course, usually at the beginning of the season, all these schools are usually playing the non-conference games, and usually the non-conference games are against opponents that one could argue is fairly more superior of you. So, like, for example, last week, Grambling State played LSU.
Yes, sir.
Of course, lost, I believe that score was 72-3 or something like that. Again, against an opponent that's fairly more superior than you. The score is kind of similar to what we're witnessing right here, 69-0. However, not really a great start for either one of these ball clubs in the West Division. So one can argue that the West could be fully wide open right now for the Panthers.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to play down to any of your opponents. You know, if you believe in your guys, you know, from day one, you know, you want to prove out there that, you know, we can do this thing, you know, regardless of the outcome of this game right now. You know, all that work that you put in all summer leading into this day, you know, spring training games, you know, you still believe in your guys. And, you know, anytime you come out there, you know, you're not trying to accept getting second, third, and it's like, you know, you want to come out here and win the whole thing, you know. So, like I said, just learn from this game, you know, grow from it, you know, and just looking forward to playing into, you know, conference play starting next week.
Yes, sir. So it appears that we're now down to the fourth-string quarterback on the depth chart for the Mustangs, Mr. Keldrick Luster at quarterback, and he's going to hand this one off to the running back, who will have more than enough for a Mustangs first down. Ball's now going to be spotted at the 28-yard line of the Mustangs, moving from left to right. We have 9:42 to go here in the fourth quarter. 69-0 is our score in favor of the SMU Mustangs, as we saw not quite a full house here at Gerald Field Stadium, but quite a showdown from the audience standpoint. Audience definitely came in ready to cheer on their squad, but as we mentioned earlier, everyone essentially has started to exit stage left, even the home team.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like I said, this contest got out of hand pretty quick within about the third quarter, you know. So there was not much of a ball game left here, but still, you know, you still have your faithful few here still supporting on both teams on here while the game's still going on.
Yes,
which
sir.
You still see.
Yes, sir. And it appears that we have an injured Panther on the field. But it appears that he's going to be okay.
Might have been cramping probably right there.
As he's able to walk off slightly on his own power. As we're seeing now the second, third, and fourth strings from both squads, offensively and defensively. So usually when you're that far down on the depth chart, you usually don't get a whole lot of playing time. So unlike the first string, who's used to taking the hits, I mean, you get hit at practice, yeah, but getting hit at practice is nowhere near comparison to getting hit in real game time, especially against a team like SMU.
Absolutely. Like I said, as all you don't want to do if you're the Panthers, you know, you want to walk away from this game with no serious injuries committed by anybody.
Sir. Well, the play has resumed. Quarterback Mr. Keldrick Luster keeps the ball on that last play. Read option on that play, kept it himself, gained some positive yards, and another first down for the Mustangs. Mustangs moving from left to right. Ball is now going to be placed at their own 42-yard line. Clock continues to roll here in the fourth quarter as we have 8:10 to go. 69-0 is our score in favor of the Mustangs. And we want to take this opportunity to, again, remind all of our listeners that September is our listening partnership drive. And we want to ask all of those out there listening, if you've been thrilled with all the content that we've been providing to you here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, would you be willing to commit to just 17 cents a day as a partnership? 17 cents a day. And you can do so by going to our website at obnradio.com. Again, that's obnradio.com. Click on the donation button, and your contributions will help us as we continue to travel the country
bringing you live and delayed coverages right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. 2nd and 11 coming up for the Mustangs. Ball plays at the 41-yard line, 7:15 to go here in the fourth quarter. 2 receivers to the right and 1 to the left for Mr. Keldrick Luster. Read option play, and he will hand the snap to his running back, who's going to get past the 45-yard line, brought down at the 46-yard line for another solid pickup on the play.
Yeah, nice run right there. Luster probably could have kept it, but did a nice job just giving it to his running back to pick up some positive yards.
He's trying to spread the love.
Yeah, he just trying to spread the love. Do the assignment.
Yeah.
That was called upon him.
That was number 27, Mr. Zane Miners, on the carry for the Mustangs. 3rd and 6 coming up. Ball spotted at the 46-yard line.
It was a nice night out here, man, regardless. Didn't have no weather effect at all coming into tonight's game, so you love that.
Yes, sir. Play action fake this time. Luster's going to air this one downfield. Pass will be incomplete.
Got away with maybe his pass interference with a little bumping and shoving right there. This was letting them play.
And to your point, that was also an uncatchable ball as well. So
yeah,
I'm pretty sure the official factored that in. Not speaking for him, but he probably factored in the score and said, you know what, we'll just let that one slide. So we have 4th down coming up, the first 4th down that we've seen by this Mustang offense in a fairly long time.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a positive right there.
Another positive.
That's going to bring up a 4th down and 6 now.
Yes, sir.
For the Mustangs.
As number 4, Mr. Keon Jones is back to receive this punt for the Panthers, standing at their own 10-yard line. As this punt is off, and he's going to smartly wave this one off, as this one's going to sail in the end zone for a touchback. So the Panthers will have their next shot at it at their own 25-yard line. We'll take a break and come back with more Panther action right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We certainly hope that you're enjoying our live coverage of Panther football right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. While we have a break in the action, we want to ask all of our listeners, have you been thrilled with the content and sports coverages provided to you here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network? If so, we want to take this opportunity to let you know for as little as 17 cents a day, yes, you heard it correctly, for just 17 cents a day, you can become a listening partner right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. To do so, all you have to do is head to our website at obnradio.com. Again, that's obnradio.com. And fill out the inquiry form at the bottom of the page, and your monthly contributions will help us continue bringing you live and delayed sports coverages throughout Waller County and beyond. And again, it's only on the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the station designed with you in mind. And welcome back to Panther Football on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Andre Davis alongside Mr. Philip Prince coming to you live from Gerald Ford Stadium by way of Dallas, Texas. It's been all Mustang football here in this ball game. 6:13 to go here in the fourth quarter. Mustangs 69, the Panthers of Prairie View University 0. And again, if you're just now joining us, I want to remind all of our listeners that the Panthers will be taking this show on the road yet again next week as they take on Western Division opponents, the Braves of Alcorn State in Norman, Mississippi. Kickoff of that game is scheduled for 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and you can catch all of that action right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to that next matchup for the Panthers, to bounce back up after this week. Like you said, if you can go into next week with the win, start off conference play, you know, there's going to be nothing but positive going on throughout the rest of the year.
Yes, sir. As the second-string quarterback, Mr. C.J. Dumas takes the field for the Panthers to start this next drive at their own 20-yard line, moving from right to left. He's going to have two receivers on each side. Number 27, Jamario Brooks, will be the running back to accompany him. As they're going to go with the play-action phase, this time C.J. Dumas will keep it himself, safely slides down after picking up 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, as far as slide right there by C.J., don't have to take no unnecessary hit, just trying to pick up an extra yard or two right there.
And he actually did something, although it's water under the bridge at this point for this ball game, but C.J. actually did something that I would have liked to see Conley do in the beginning of this ball game, but we all know why. There's a possibility why we didn't see a lot of running from Mr. Trayvon Conley. Was C.J. Dumas actually pulled on that play, picked up some positive yards for the Panthers.
Yeah, and absolutely. And like anytime you see the opponent quarterback running the ball, they're going to try and take a free hit right there. So
Of course. Another handoff, this time to the running back, Mr. Jamario Brooks, only 1 yard pickup on the play. And the reason why I point that out, and again, I understand who you're playing against, and I understand who you have to look forward to playing against the following week. But at the same time, I'm not really a true fan of automatically looking ahead as opposed to looking to looking to the opponents you have in front of you right then and there. And the reason why I mention that is because if you're Conley and you're able to pull the ball and you're able to pick up some positive yards, what it does is it gives the defense more to have to worry about.
Yeah.
Then when you're the quarterback and you're not really taking off, then all they have to do is just focus on the running back, and the only time they focus on you is when you decide to drop back the pass. So ultimately, it opens some things up more for you offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to guard a dual threat quarterback that can beat you with his arms and his legs at any given time, during the course of a game. So, when you have that opportunity to, utilize your legs to pick up a, positive gain, a 10-yard run here and there, then open up and bust them down, with the 40-yard pass. It's great exceptional advantage to your standpoint.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Panthers get a first down on that last play, pass completion by Mr. C.J. Dumas. So with that, they're looking at 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. 2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right from Mr. C.J. Dumas. He's going to hand off to Brooks. Brooks going to bounce to the right side. He's going to get past the 35, and he's going to be brought down at about the 37-yard line. Solid pickup on that play from Mr. Jamario Brooks.
Yeah, like I said, did a nice job trying to hit the outside corner, but just ran out of real estate right there. As they did a nice job angling him just before he was able to get any more positive yardage right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it appears that the Panthers are just taking their time here again, not trying to get out of this game. In comparison to what we saw last week, we saw a lot of bodies drop last week against the Wildcats, that being injuries for the Panthers. One of the positives, and we're pulling out positives for this ball game, one of the positives that we can pull out is that when you think about the team that the Panthers face here, that being the SMU Mustangs, not really a whole lot of injuries. Actually, not really hardly any. We had a couple of Panthers go down, but they were able to get up on their own power. But not really any injuries that we need to worry about for the Panthers in this ball game.
Yeah, and then I think another thing that you can take away from, they didn't turn the ball over. They only had to block extra point for the block field goal attempt. But other than that, they took care of the ball. They needed to.
They actually had to take away.
Yeah, and like I said, you won the takeaway battles. Like I said, a lot of things that you can take away from this game that you might not thought that you could have right there. That the ball was handed off to the tailback right there. He's able to hit the outside, get some positive yardage right there, picking up about 15, 20 yards right there on that carry.
Jamario Brooks on another solid carry for the Panthers. He was able to break 2 tackles, and he was able to cut to the outside, left side of the field, and picks up some positive yards for the Panthers on that play. Another huge play in the first down for the Panthers as they're now in Mustang territory. Ball is going to be spotted at the 43-yard line.
Yes, sir. I think that was the biggest run of the night so far, too. I'll get the actual yardage right there in a second.
2 receivers to the right and 1 to the left for Mr. C.J. Dumas. As he's going to hand off again to Jamario Brooks. This time he's not going to have much doing. Picks up 1 yard on the play. As we're slowly now starting to see any fans that was lingering on for this ball game, they're now starting to exit stage left here from Gerald Ford Stadium, as the home side was able to take care of business in this ball game.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do anytime you defend your home territory.
2nd and 9 coming up for the Panthers. 1:15 to go here in the fourth quarter. Another handoff to Jamario Brooks. This time he's going to break one tackle, and he's going to be brought down past the 40-yard line. And check that. That was actually number 7, Mr. Ronald Young, Jr., on that last carry for the Panthers. 3rd and 3 coming up.
Yeah, that was Brooks that actually got that 17-yard run to be the longest run of the day so far.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the clock continues to roll here late in the fourth quarter, 45 seconds to be exact. I want to remind all of our listeners that following conclusion of this game, again, we're not sure how much of a party it's going to be, but you can join us for the 1876 after party post-game show featuring yours truly, Dr. Mike Prince, who's going to break down. I'm sure he has plenty of ugly to pull from in this ball game, the X's and O's, the good, the bad, and the ugly from today's ball game. And you can do so by listening live by dialing 857-777-0000. The number again is 857-777-0000. Or you can head to the website at obnradio.com. Again, that's obnradio.com.
See, another positive that you can take away from here is Andre, the Panthers did not commit another single penalty this half.
Well, after committing 9 in the first half, I'm sure the coaching staff of the Panthers had quite the conversation in that locker room in regards to the amount of penalties that the Panthers had in that first half. 9 penalties for a total of 94 yards, as that last play will take us to the end of the ball game here from Gerald Ford Stadium. 69-0 is our final score in favor of the SMU Mustangs. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have our post-game analysis right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. The Mustangs, victors in this game, 69-0. Keep it where you got it, and we'll be right back.